Oh, we're live. Oh man, studio's already acting weird. I know they were having issues on the locale live, but hopefully we're good to go today, chat. Hopefully we are good to go today. Let's go ahead and get this thing started, shall we? Part 2 comes up now.
Lights flashing or shadows crawl. Caint cables and will never fall. Heavy crown, heavy chase. King of chaos driving insane. Rise up, feel the grind. Twist the plot, lose your mind. Caint, Caint, the ruler of the fates. Caint, Caint, rules through the cafe. No one comes through. Won't be the weeks you wanna take. Standing tall with a 6'5" frame. Caint. In smoke, crowned in flames. He whispers riddles, plays his games. Threats of gold burn in his grip. Truth gets twisted, starts to slip. Chase kingdoms will never fall. Rise up, feel the grind. Twist the clock, lose your mind. Caint, the ruler of the flames. Caint, roll through the cafe, no one comes through. Won't eat the beats you wanna take. Standing tall with a 6'5" frame. Caint. Lost in smoke, crowned in flames. He whispers riddles, plays his games. Caint, the ruler of the fates. Caint, roll through the cafe, no one comes through.
My audio sucks. You can't hear that? Damn. Let's get the boomer emojis in the chat. Alright, well, fine. I had to change my audio mixer out because I needed my duo for something else I'm doing, so I came back to the Streamer X. So it's loud? Is it too loud? Is that the question? I can't. Either way, let's see. Let's see what's happening. Oh, that's why. Damn it. Okay. Been a while since I used this. Is this better? Sounds like I was underwater. Beautiful. All right. 1 second. I can fix this. 1 second. All right. Should be a little bit better. Is this a little bit better? Maybe. Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Is this any better? Let me know if this is any better. Damn. Much better? Beautiful. All right. So I need to figure that out. Because what I'm trying to do is play the audio through the mixer, right? And I thought I had it. But evidently, it's just not going to happen. Chat. And I can't. I fucking can't. That really, truly sucks. I thought I had it. I truly thought I had it that time. All right. Well, damn it. All right. So we're better. All right. So since we're better, we're going to start that over. Because I'm not doing a show without my damn intro. I am not doing a song without this damn intro. So let me start this over. I apologize profusely. Let's start this over.
Lights flash or shadows crawl. Caint rules and will never fall. Heavy crown, heavy chains. King of chaos driving insane. Rise up, feel the grind. Twist the clock, lose your mind. Caint, he's the ruler of the Faint. Caint, broke through the cafe, now unconstrained. Oh, he's the beast you wanna tame, standing tall with a 6'5" frame. Caint. Masked in smoke, crowned in flames. He whispers riddles, plays his games. Threads of gold burn in his grip. Truth gets twisted, it starts to slip. Run now, hear the call. Caint's kingdoms will never fall. Rise up, feel the grind. Twist the clock, lose your mind. Caint, he's the ruler of the Faint. Caint, broke through the cafe, now unconstrained. Oh, he's the beast you wanna tame, standing tall with a 6'5" frame. Caint. Caint. Masked in smoke, crowned in flames. He whispers riddles, plays his games. Caint, he's the ruler of the Faint. Caint, broke through the cafe, now unconstrained. Oh, he's the beast you wanna tame, standing tall with a 6'5" frame. Caint.
All right, now we're good. Now we're in the groove of it, guys. 2 unhinged, sad wanker. What is a wanker? I can't. Mary, what up, Mary? Glad to see you here. I saw you K-Bears in there some damn where. My bad. Yeah, final. I never came either, bro. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure the damn how to play audio through the thing, and it's just not working. But we're done with that. Let's get on with this damn show. So yesterday we left off, and we basically got to the point of it all coming to a head. And Cassandra was being met with the Gamers Asylum to give up his hoodie so she takes down stuff about Ivixey. What in the hell? Like, none of this made sense. Like, this story is just so convoluted because it's like the brother, sister's, fucking aunt's, uncle's, wife's maid or something. And there was leaks. And she saw that, someone saw that, giving it to Cassandra. Evidently, like, Cassandra lived in the same town as him. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. Apparently, they knew each other from somewhere. I don't fucking know, bro. I don't fucking know. But here's an interesting little tidbit. So there's this little dude out there. His name's Twisted SMF. I don't know if y'all know Twisted SMF, but Twisted SMF was claiming he had a screenshot of him asking Lord Rush to start looking into what was known as the Pixel Tits Reddit. Why is a Reddit named Pixel Tits? I have no unearthly idea. I'm a fucking boomer. But regardless of the point. So he made a little 2-minute video we're going to watch before we delve into Ivixey's video where she's dropping receipts, guys. Receipts coming left and right. All kinds of fucking, this is what I got. This is what you see. It's all public. None of this was private, by the way. She elected not to show any private things as far as messages and all that. Not whatever. But, yeah, Pixel Tits. I can't. But here's the fun fact, guys. I talked to Ivixey. And she gave me a copy of her docket if I wanted to use it, right? Very nice lady, by the way. Seems super fucking cool and all that. Apparently, she is a little taken aback by my opinions on VTubers, and y'all know my opinions on VTubers, bro. I mean, I can't with the anime tits. It's just not me. But that's beside the point. So we're gonna watch Twisted SMF's 2 minute video real quick. Well, not the whole thing, but this is something that Gamers Asylum wrote to Twisted. I have to ask, why are you DMing Roxy and implicating me working with you, your partner, Becky, and Gemini? I received a voicemail from her this morning, and she was very upset. So you can imagine the mood I am in. I was not even aware that you were involved in a show, and I had to sit through your partner's nonsensical ranting to even figure it out. Then I heard him put my trademarked name to the stranger person. Now, if y'all don't know what this is talking about, there was the Twisted Stallion show. The Twisted Stallion show was Twisted SMF and Italian Stallion. Both used to be in the LCU or whatever. When Becky left to make her thing, they left with her, and then they kind of started doing their own thing called the Twisted Stallion show. Now, it didn't last too terribly long, but there was this idea of the stranger. Now, that's going to come back up later on. Cece's going to talk about that here on Roxy's stream. But that was basically just them trying to like troll Becky because of all the bad shit she's ever done in her life. And the idea behind it was they were going to use different voices from different men that she had wronged. By the way, I was never approached to do this. I probably would have never done it anyway because I don't care enough. But that was kind of the whole idea of it. Now, he's asking Twisted, why was his trademarked name attached to the stranger person idea, whatever the fuck. That's what all that's about. Let's continue. So let me put you in the know. Almost everyone else had to read the room and figure this out, but you may not follow things as closely as her other fans. The videos made by the stranger did not first appear on Ivixey's channel. Secondly, there appears to be some sort of idea that my affiliation with Ivixey means something. I am just a mod and a supporter. Now, let's stop right there. This motherfucker is spending $7K in 2 months. Told her he loved her, right, according to Ivixey. And she didn't reciprocate it, right? And, well, the word she used was from him. This is her words that he said, I think I'm falling in love with you. That's a little bit more. That's a little bit more than just a mod and a supporter, right? Later on, the manager type shit, though he took on the role as the manager to schedule interviews and to vet people before they talk to her, being that shield before they get to her, right? That's what also he was trying to do. So again, that's just a little bit more than just a mod and a supporter. All right, but I digress. Most people have caught on this, but you may not be as much of a follower. Sorry, one of my cameras is blocking this. If you haven't noticed, I'm no longer referred to as a manager or docket team. The only reason my name is brought up now is because she is working off of a docket I helped with weeks ago, since the series has risen before it started. Now, this is the Horror Cow series, I believe, that she was doing on Becky. Because remember, on Ivixey's channel, it was like Tales of a Horror Cow or some shit like that, like the Becky Boop story. Because Gamers Asylum had been there since day one of Queens, and then he knew all this shit, so he was basically helping Ivixey out. I think he was the only member of the docket team, because they had the Microsoft Teams thing he was paying for, and waste of fucking money if you ask me. But that's beside the point. So that's kind of what that is referring to. All right, working off a doc. All right, I am not even managing mod on her channel. So if the idea is Ivixey has something to do with the stranger, and I am him or have knowledge of him because of my affiliation, just necessarily isn't the case. Finally, it brings me to a more serious point. Your partner implicated me by name on your channel as this person. I was not. I think it was. It was not, I think, it was, it is. So basically, it wasn't, I think it's him, it is him. That's what fucking tongue twisters. I can't with the tongue twisters. This has brought obvious hardship by implying something. implying something he has no real knowledge of. And you message to Roxy, making things worse. I don't know what your friend is thinking. He is going to get clout off my name. What clout? What clout? Pirate, what up, bro? Ash, what up? I see all y'all here. I appreciate you guys. Again, Mary, thank you for being here. Hide, 7K, no warmth. Who the fuck spends 7K on a bitch and doesn't get any warmth? What the fuck is going on, bro? Literally, you got zero wetness. You had a cold, dry night for 2 months. You dropped 7K on a motherfucker. Zero wet warmth. I can't. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, this is just fucked up. Like 7K on a bitch you never met before. What are we doing? What are we doing? And normally, if it was like some business decision or some shit, there'd be contracts in place. You know, because he had the small company that was like talent promotion or something, right? You figured there'd be a little bit of a contract in place. And yeah, he could say, yeah, like the money that I spent on her, I can make up in a couple of days. Doesn't matter, bro. If your business is involved, then you got to look at, you know, money coming in, money going out, blah, 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 audits, taxes, whatever the fuck, right? I'm just saying. So it goes a lot deeper than just, you know, 7,000. But yeah, bro, you had some cold, dry nights spending 7,000 on a chick you never even fucking met before, bro. I can't. All right. Let's get back to where I was. The cloud off my name that would potential lead to channel strikes. The remedy is that your partner will apologize on the same platform he made these allegations, and one of his awful attempts at cutting a wrestling promo will not work. Afterward, this should be viewed as a cease and desist and making direct implications with my branding that you do not have firsthand knowledge of. Any further attempts at such will result in any and all available actions being taken against those acting in bad faith and or the platform it was done on, since doing such has caused distress with my affiliates. So here we go with the legal jargon, right? This is probably some ChatGPT bullshit. Tommy, what up, bro? Appreciate you being here. It's probably some ChatGPT bullshit that he fucking typed up. You know what I mean? Put in all the legal words that you can or some shit, bro. Or fucking, you know, they probably had some fucking like copy and paste shit and he just kind of filled in the blanks. But yeah, bro, nah, bro. No shot. No fucking shot. I can't, bro. All right. So let's continue. I better not get a copyright strike twisted. Never mind. I'm just going to mute it. You already did that, bro. We already did that. All right, let's get to this.
Twisted SMF super chatted $20. Gamers, why are you paying Lord Rush to get info on Ivixey? Screenshots exist. I just seen them.
Now, gamers, did you...
Now, keep in mind, during this stream, Lord Rush super chatted and said, what the fuck are you talking about, right? Because Lord Rush isn't that dude. You're just not going to drop his name and then nothing happens, right? We're just going to get back to him, bro. He has a lot of people that are his friends, talk to him on the regular, whatever the hell. We're just going to get back to Lord Rush regardless if somebody's name dropping him. And he'll come in there with the quickness, you know what I mean? So that was kind of the first no knowledge of anything remotely close to this, right? So here we go.
Gamers, were you paying Lord Rush to get info on Ivixey?
Not Rush.
Who?
Info on Vixie?
How'd you know that?
Ooh, caught red-handed. I can't. OG Queen Erica, what up? Welcome. He is blackmailing people with his worthless emails after he caught. Is that what I caught? No. He is blackmailing people with Discord messages. These are Discord messages with cease and desist and blah, 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 and attorney vernacular, right? This is a Discord message. Now, granted, if this was remotely legit, right? If this was his only means of contacting him, sure. But usually when you get legal and all that shit, Your Honor, I have a Discord message. Like, come on, bro. This ain't it. Bro. I'm sorry.
Someone donated and said, gamers, why are you paying Lord Rush to get info on Ivixey?
On Ivixey?
Twisted SMF said that.
Yeah, and that's
I never paid for...
All right. Please, I'm not going to share it, but I can stop Rish, boom, if he is following a dead lead and costing me money while he does it. I don't feel, and then whoever, it didn't feel right doing it. I'm not like that, boom. So apparently this was Nemesis' real name, for what I understand. I think that is, or that's either Ivixey's like either name or alternate channel. We'll get to that. But if this leaks from me, I'll be really upset, but I trust you. You wanted another pick. I'm not saying a word. Just message Rush, and he told me, read the motherfucking email. No, I didn't. At least I know she didn't lie. All right, so that was Ivixey. That's right. It is in there. Some of the videos they have are from there. I need a minute. I'm feeling sick. All right. So basically, this is what Twisted SMF is saying. The screenshot he saw of Rush looking into Ivixey, right? So there it is.
I never
said,
paid for,
I just seen the screenshots, so
of that I paid to get info on Ivixey.
We keep hearing of proof that like this, that, like there's a recording, there was a phone call. Can anybody actually send some proof so we can actually like try?
This is the proof, basically.
Just go into members waiting.
That
Unless
too,
it's
that
in
too.
main chat.
I'm trying.
Let me keep an eye in main chat. Let me see if there's any proof of that.
All right. So then he did some AI images of dude crying. Beautiful. All right. So I was going to go into Roxy's stream to bring CC up so CC could kind of speak her piece, but that's actually here, and Ivixey covers it. Now, I was going to go through just her docket, but I figured it'd be better to watch her video because she adds in commentary to help explain some of the stuff that honestly I wouldn't know, because I know some of the story, but obviously she knows more of the story, right? But regardless, we're going to get into this real quick, and let's check out what Ivixey has to say. We're gonna be here for a while, guys. So strap the hell in. And I can't with the fucking shit. Anyways, Ivixey, if you're watching, no fucking whatever to you. But all right, let's get into it.
All right, let me just quickly look into a tweet that Gamers put out today. I don't have access to it, but you know, it was shared with me, and I thought it was interesting. He says, I've been getting a lot of messages about Ivixey's live stream and potential streams about people doing face reveals on her. Who else is threatening me? Wait, let me guess, you don't have screenshots this time either, do you?
Yeah, no one else was threatening her. It was only him. And by the way, Ivixey, one of Ivixey's points in all this thing is Gamers had all this shit that people said, and Gamers would tell her, yeah, such and such said this and such said that. This was in private, by the way, over messages or whatever. Ivixey never saw any screenshots, so she doesn't know if it's 100% true. She's just going off in good faith that Gamers Asylum will telling her the truth. So that's also a point of contention that she brings up. So let's continue.
Yeah. So I will just address it all this way. Ivixey isn't privy to everything. There's something that I don't know, guys, and is extremely far off from the truth with a lot of things. She prefers her narrative to the facts.
I got a wiener.
Thank you so much, Lasting Opinion. Appreciate you. Thank you.
It's actually hilarious that she has Savage saying that. So yeah, so right here it says, I will address it this way. Ivixey isn't privy to everything and is extremely far off from the truth with a lot of things. So here's my thing, bro. If this involves her and people trying to dox her or get her real image out there, whatever the fuck, she should be in the know. She should be told like, hey, by the way, this is the shit that's coming at you right now. This is what I'm doing to fix it. But no, he's keeping her in the dark according to this tweet right here. And these are his words. So what kind of a manager are you, bro? What kind of person would actually do that to someone you're supposed to be representing? That's all I'm saying there, bro. That's fucked up.
She prefers her narrative to the facts, again, many of which she is unaware of, and no one is going to change her mind. Listen, I've always been open. I think since the first time that I lost trust in the Gamers Asylum, I always ask questions, and I always ask, where is this coming from? You never had any answer. Now all of a sudden there's answers, I just don't know them? You're very welcome to share, All right,
yeah.
As for people doing face reveals on her or releasing her old usernames, don't do that crazy shit. No, please don't. No, please don't. And
yeah, here's the thing, bro. Regardless how I feel about VTubers, bro, and whatever, like she seems pretty cool. I'm not gonna take that away from her, but just still, like, I'd rather talk to someone like I know who I'm talking to. I don't want to talk to a cartoon character. That's just me as a person. But I am kind of a boomer, right? So I mean, it is what it is. But regardless, though, man, you should be telling her these things, bro. That's all I'm saying. And no one should be saying that, If she wants to put out her face and show people what she really looks like, that's up to her, right? That's her likeness. She has the right to do that. No one else does, right? Let's just be flat out honest. You know what I mean? Tommy R, the student seeks some professional help. Facts, bro, 100%. And then OG Queen Erica, why would he be in the LCL network? I don't blame Albert for not liking him. So apparently, according to Caint, because of the script and the whole thing he wrote and recording the video and all that shit, he liked what he did, coming up with these alleged, all these alts and all this shit. So he hired him to be the manager of Nuts to help them out, I guess, with storylines and writing their scripts or whatever the fuck. And it's to kind of help them out. So that's kind of where all this shit came from. So, yeah. Galaxy Girl, what up? Appreciate you being here.
Who started that? Who started leaking, huh? No, please, please. TGA, the Gamers Asylum, please don't. Please, control yourself. Don't do that, all right? There's no point to it. I mean, there's a point. There's definitely a point. That isn't something to take from her. I am not angry or upset with her, and no one else should be for me. All of your alts, you mean? Just remember things are not always as they seem to be, and the truth is always brought into the light! Sorry, I had to say it like that. At some point. All right, well, that's what he had to say today. No, I didn't want to, silence him anyway, so I wanted to make sure that his voice is being, is present here today, All right, well, man, I tried my very best to make this dark theme, by the way, but when I do that, this is what happens. This is what happens.
Yeah, so just to kind of give y'all a understanding of what this is. So this is her doc that she literally goes over, and she has the stuff up here to kind of support it, and literally, bro, as you can see here, 70 pages. 70 fucking pages of just shit, bro. Of just shit she has on this dude. Now, if that ain't your homework, I don't know what the fuck your homework is. So, shout out to her for doing all this. Granted, some of the pages just have, like, screen caps and shit, right? But still, she did a great job telling the story in order and making it digestible so that way anybody can follow it. She did a great job. But again, I want to cover her video because one, she did all this work and she deserves the credit. And two, she also adds commentary to it to kind of help explain stuff as well. So that's why we're going to go through this whole thing. So let's get it.
All the images become like this awful, so I think I prefer it this way. You guys let me know if you feel otherwise, but yeah. My eyes! I know, I try. Oh, at least all the screenshots are, dark mode. I couldn't do better than this. I'm so sorry. This stream specifically is about my story, my side, because I have been forced, so to speak, to go on panel twice this week. It was not my choice, but people decided to talk about the subject without having all the information, without having any receipts whatsoever. I don't have any hate for Roxy, but she went live without any receipts, as well as Locale Live, no receipts. No.
Yeah, so that's kind of one thing that did piss her off a little bit. She said she's not mad. I'm sure she just feels some type of way about it. Like, people are just telling all these sides of the story, but there's no proof. And that's one thing Scooter did call out. Like, no one has any type of proof. There's nothing to back up your story. So it's all just hearsay at this point, right? So shout out to him for constantly calling that out. I mean, I don't think he's a good entertainer, in my own personal opinion, but at least the dude did call that shit out. So I'm glad he at least did that for her, you know what I mean? But let's get it.
Way to tell the story. So that's what I'm doing today. From my perspective, obviously, I cannot tell the story from anyone else's perspective. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be showing public things that were said in public and screenshots that were shared with me. I will not be.
I got any wiener.
Thank you so much. Holy
Beautiful.
crap. Trace, thank you so much for the gifted membership as well as Siren. They are my opinion, my perspective, my views of things. It is very interesting how I didn't have to say much during those 3.5 hours before I showed up on Locale Live for people to think that the Gamers Asylum is Cassandra.
Yeah, so he kind of did that to himself with all the convoluted storylines he came up with and how people are related and all this other shit trying to, like, come together with fucking, I guess, trying to connect dots in a certain kind of way that didn't make a proper shape, right? That's the best way I can put it. But, all the stuff she does uses from X or Twitter or whatever, right? All this shit is public. She didn't leak any DMs. She didn't show any type of phone calls. Nothing that wasn't already shown, right? So, I mean... And before she showed the video of the initial meetup with Cassandra, whenever he gave the fucking Locale Live hoodie, which that's the biggest crock of shit. But before he did that, she asked him, "Can I play this?" And he said yes. So, I mean, she's doing her due diligence as far as, covering her ass on, like, privacy or whatever. So I gotta give her credit there as well. So let's get it.
Nothing to do with me. I only showed up later to share the video of the meetup. The Plate of Wings says the Lives Asylum is an actual monster. Glad you're free from this abuse and control tactics. Keeping you, the real supporters are still here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. It really sucks that this week I've had no voice. So it's really weird that people are coming in here saying that I know nothing. That I taking away my chance to say my story. Trying to threaten with privacy strikes or whatever you want to call them. Like, can't I just tell my side? Why are you so scared? I don't.
Yeah. So evidently, I think Cassandra was threatening to privacy strike people if they talked about her or did any kind of thing to her, any of that shit. So if we are to believe that Cassandra is an alt to the Gamers Asylum, right? Again, it's alleged. I have no way of proving that or whatever. Sunshinery, what up? I have no way of proving that. I don't know if anyone really has a way of proving that. I know Thick Gemini said in the stream yesterday that they showed that the IP address was the same for Cassandra and for Gamers Asylum. So that points to the direction that they are one and the same person. So regardless, though, right? What are you going to go off of, and what conclusion can you really draw other than they are the same person? So that's just a little nugget of knowledge for you.
Get it? I am not going to share. I got a wiener. Thank you so much for the chance for people to talk. Like, there are a lot of people involved. They make sure with all the alts to involve a lot of people. So if anyone ever wants to come and say their piece, they will get their chance. I will likely have an open panel at some point. I haven't done those on this channel yet, but I can do them. So if anyone involved in the story has anything to say,
I'm gonna skip ahead when she talks about something that's not related to the story, or like she gets like donos and shit. I'm gonna skip ahead just to kind of keep it going. But yeah, I'm just letting y'all know that
they want to add to the story, then they can. They will have that chance. All right. How can you not know when it literally happened to you? Yeah. Like the audacity of saying that I don't know what's going on. Literally, this happened to me, and if I'm not privy to all the information, then please provide it. Provide the information. All right. I'm going to try to put some comments out there as I see them, so that you guys have a voice on the stream as well. But I'll be trying to be fair. I wasn't able to tell my story either because I wasn't in a relationship with him. He was a big part of me, Lillian and Paige's life, so we have a story to tell also, 100%. And you can do that on your stream. What I did not agree with specifically was how we had that conversation. We will go through this, but we had a conversation. You seemed to agree that there was something to these suspicions that me and Nemesis had. And you had a talk with the Gamers Asylum that night. You were supposed to get back to us. You didn't. And then the next day you went live without all the information. So you decided to go live without the information and saying that anyone that has anything to say can come up and say something. But, you know, in my very honest opinion, you were not at the point of...
So she's talking about Roxy here, right? Because Roxy went live and really didn't have any information. She just kind of went live and said, all right, if you got a story to tell your story, right? And again, no one showed any proof. She really didn't ask for proof. Roxy was just coming from the perspective of, I just want peace. I want everybody to get along, right? I don't want this to be some like overwhelming bullshit that's going to drive her two mods apart, because Nemesis and Gamers were mods on her channel. She just kind of wanted to make peace with this. Since Ivixey was involved and this became a whole big clusterfuck, right? Then obviously more people came in. Other people knew sides of the story because it started involving other content creators. And it became this whole entire mountain of shit. This pure shit, right? That's all this shit is. And it's all because some motherfucker wanted to try and drive Ivixey back to him so he could solve all these problems, right? That's really all this is about. And it's fucking dumb, bro. Fucking dumb.
Telling anyone else's story but your own, which you didn't. You didn't tell your own story. You told, you involved me and the information that I shared with you the previous night. And that's what I did not like. However, I have no hate towards Roxy. I just did not like feeling forced to go on to defend myself. All right, we're gonna start. So everything started when I went on the tryouts on the BBU. I went on the tryouts because I thought, I never really considered going to tryouts on the LCU, but I was like, I knew that Team was not a fan of VTubers, and I really wanted to make my content as a VTuber. So when Becky was doing tryouts, I was like, wait a minute, this might actually work. And I did like Becky a lot back then. I thought she was a very interesting personality. Not that she was a good person or anything. That opinion hadn't really been formed, but I thought she was an interesting personality, and I wanted to be a part of that somehow.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, you know what I mean? She's just trying to get her foot in the door somewhere, right? Because yes, Keemstar does not like VTubers. He's been very adamant about that. I mean, fuck me, I don't like VTubers either. Just because of the VTubers I've seen have been fucked up people, and there was always some like weird like PDF nefarious shit behind it, right? Because they're trying to make content for kids. Deep down, they're all fucking predators, and then we all know what happens in the end, right? But again, she wants to remain anonymous for a reason, so I guess people should kind of respect that. I mean, I'm gonna respect that. You know what I mean? My boomer ass. You know what I mean? I'm trying to come around a little bit, but yeah, she wanted to remain anonymous, and she wanted to go up there and try and get on a show and get on a bigger platform and just kind of expand her horizons just a little bit. The only issue I have with VTubers, especially with, you know, her and the jiggling and all that shit, deep down, you have to know the crowd that's going to attract, right? Part of you has to understand, like, yeah, like, I know I'm doing this, I know what I'm going for, but, you know, I know that these type of people are probably going to try and come and watch me, right? You have to know that deep down. So that's the only main issue I have with it, because the audience you're going to attract. So you want to try and form your content around that audience. So, I mean, it just is what it is. Thrifty, Roxy riding coattails. I ain't rocking with her. I mean, a lot of people said that, but I mean, if she wants to use this for content, that's her prerogative. And if her fans enjoy it, let them enjoy it. That's how I see it. Detective Coachy, so much drama. Facts there is. Tommy R, I've seen Ivixey. She looks normal, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm sure she does look normal. I mean, what is normal, right? Like, how do you define normal anymore? But I mean, just regardless, though, the audience you get when you have this type of VTuber with the, as Lunchbox said, I think jiggly physics, right? I fucking can't with the phrasing. It's fucking whatever. All right, let's get into this shit, bro. Real quick, Tech. I feel like VTubers have body dysmorphia issues. They may feel they think they may. How can I say this right? They don't like how they look, so they want to present themselves as something they're not, right? That could be a thing, because they want to like present themselves not as how they look now, but as a animated, cute character, right? I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So I went on the tryouts in the BBU, and instantly, Gamers Asylum was very much behind with donations and mentioning me, and Cassandra. I believe Cassandra was one of the first ones to say anything about it. When I mentioned in July 1st that I was on the panel, and I was very happy because the community had been unfamiliar with VTubers, and I was given the chance to say, yo, this is what a VTuber looks like, and we're pretty cool, And that was a really cool experience, because a lot of them reactions from people in the chat, and as well as Becky and I think Roxy, and not so much Savage at the time, but they were very positive about my contribution at that day, at least. And so,
yeah, well, here's the thing too, right? And I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. If you look at Queens, right, when Becky was on there, all the big donators Becky would flirt with. Like, let's just be flat out honest, right? And obviously, like the female big donators, they just enjoyed Queens, but a lot of the male type donators is because she would flirt with them, and she would be provocative with them on stream. Later, we learned that there was a lot of like messaging in the background, phone numbers exchanged, whatever, right? So I think that on some level, women do try to use some sort of sex appeal when it comes to men, right? That's just kind of how I see it. I could be totally wrong, but just from an outsider's perspective, that's how it looked. So again, with her and the jiggly physics and trying to look cute and however she looks, right, it could be she's trying to go for that, Gidgey did the same shit, Thrifty. Exactly, bro. I mean, it is what it is. Detective Coaches, I personally can't stand people who hide behind avatars. I mean, that's the thing, bro. Like, if I'm going to say something, you know who I am. This is an avatar, by the way, guys. This really isn't me. I'm kidding. But, it's just, I like knowing who I'm talking to. That's just how I am as a person. That's how I was raised. I like to look somebody in the eye when I'm talking to them. That's just how it is. Tommy, I've been watching too much YouTube lately. I dreamt that Ivixey did the eye thing and suddenly flashed me. I woke up and thought, what the fuck am I dreaming about, bro? I don't know if you should have admitted that. I can't. Yeah, Thrifty, yeah. So, yeah, Gidgey did do the same thing with the sex appeal. I mean, women do try and do some sort of sex appeal. It just is what it is. Piece of soup. Can't watch anything with her, especially having a caring wife I watch with. I get that. And, like, I try to... When it comes to, like, let's just say, like, this stream, I listened to it when I was at work just because I want to know what she said, so that way I could, speak on it. I didn't want to watch it, but I could listen to it because it's the information that we're getting, right? But it is what it is. Fucking, this is her. I want to get the content out there because this is her side of the story, and she has a right to have her side of the story told. So, I mean, that's the reason why we're watching it. I talked to her a little bit behind the scenes just to, like, like, hey, what's up? And just to kind of figure this all out. She may come on the show at some point. I'm probably going to ask her to not have the jiggly physics avatar, just have a normal looking avatar whenever she comes up here. I have no problem with that. I just, the shaking of the breasts, it's just not for me, bro. No, not my thing. All right, regardless, though, let's continue. I've done enough digressing.
So I posted that on Twitter, or X, and the reaction was from Cassandra. She said, "You were amazing last night. You got everyone's attention right away and held it the entire time," which is a sentence that I've heard TGA say as well. "I was so excited for you when one of their biggest financial support..."
Keep in mind, her tag is real GMR, real gamer, right? So, just saying. Just saying. It is a little freaky. It is a little freaky dicky.
Supporters sent money in to just to acknowledge your talent. So this was very interesting because right from the start, my first interaction with Cassandra was her mentioning Gamers Asylum. And if we go a little further back to June 19th, when the first episode of Queen Supreme came out on her network, Cassandra also had something to say. When Becky was celebrating the first episode of Queen Supreme, Cassandra says, I couldn't believe the first super chat that dropped on Queen Supreme. You guys pulled one of the LCU heavy hitters on your first show. Kind of cool it came from him since he was the first to do TTS on Locale Queens. Holy crap, the information that she knows, right? So yeah,
Doug Savannah with the member for 1 month. Appreciate you, bro. It's already been 1 month, eh? Oh, it's coffee time, big guy. Bro, it's fucking 9:40 at night. It's a little too late for coffee, but I'm doing tea, so shout out. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. Handlebar mustache. I like that. Cartoons to me are Wile E. Coyote dropping Acme anvils on Roadrunner, not jiggly titties on YouTube. Yeah, I get that, bro. I mean, I love me some Ren and Stimpy, fucking Doug, Rocco's Modern Life. You know, when I was a kid, I watched Rugrats and shit too, right? Like, that was cartoons to me. But again, bro, if this is what she wants to do, I'm gonna let her do it. I try to let me say this as nicely as I humanly possibly can. I try not to judge people on how they make their content. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's hard. It is distracting. It is distracting because your eyes want to do something, normally if you're watching something and something moves, you want to look at it because it's moving just because it catches your attention. It is what it is, right? But again, if Ivixey comes up here, I'm going to ask her not have the jiggly physics. Like I said, I respect her as a person. She seems cool as hell. Obviously, there's no creeper vibes from her at all. She's just a normal person that wants to have an avatar as her character on YouTube, right? 100%. But it is distracting a little bit. But the poop guy, I swear to God, it's like nonstop middle school drama with people in their 40s and 50s. Facts. And then Thrifty, the sad shit dog is like my dad sending Amazon cars to corn bots. Oof. Yeah, that's not beautiful, bro, by any means. So, but either way, so right now what they're talking about is Gamers Asylum donating to Ivixey Queen Supreme, the very first episode, because again, he's a red dono dropper. Usually when he donates, it's usually reds, right? It just is what it is. And Cassandra's calling that out immediately. So that's kind of what this is all about.
The first Queen Supreme episode, she makes sure to mention Gamers Asylum. My first appearance, she makes sure to mention Gamers Asylum. At this point, Gamers Asylum, from what he told me, he doesn't really, know this person, but she is really behind him, right? She's really behind me. And Gamers Asylum especially. Not so much me at this point, right? It's about his donations and how they've managed to get that, gold mine out of the LCU. All right, this is now July 5th, and I am going to do my first show on the Becky Boop Network. Let's see. He really promotes it. He goes above and beyond to tweet about this. He says, he's very supportive of me. He thinks I'm going to do great on the BBU.
Yeah, he kind of inserted himself to be like the #1 promoter. Like something about her, bro. I mean, we all know what it was. Like just caught his eye. Like literally, caught his eye, and he's like, "Yeah, let's just do this." I mean, the one thing I will give her, she has a very unique voice, and I think that's because of her accent. And when she talks, she is very bubbly when she talks. So I mean, she does have that going for her. Like she can like catch an audience with just her voice and just how she is and her demeanor and all that shit. It is very not welcoming, but people want to listen to her because of the unique voice. I said the same thing about Denmark. Denmark has a deep voice. He has the accent. That's going to take him far. Kind of the same thing with her, right? She has kind of an accent. She has a unique voice when she talks. It gets people attention, right? That's kind of what it is. So, Thrifty, you think she stripped the avatar for him? I don't know, bro. Probably not. I wouldn't say that, bro. She doesn't seem like that type of person. Tommy, I'll never understand how people get infatuated with VTubers. It's so weird to me. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't get it either. I mean, the dude literally behind him had like a figurine of her. Like an Ivixey made figurine behind him when he was on Locale Live. And I'm like, that's a little excessive. That's a little excessive. But that's just me. Let's continue.
And when I say, we're going to address certain concerns around VTubers, he says, I'm glad you're addressing the misconception, but that comment was ignorant of the subject and should have been left unsent. I would wish you luck tonight, but I don't think you need it. I know you're going to do great.
Yeah, so what she's trying to do here is just address the misconceptions of what a VTuber is. Because again, it's just one of those things where the conception of it, when you think VTuber, what do you automatically think of, right? PDF files, right? To me, I always think of Cyrax. When Cyrax went the VTuber route, or he tried to do the VTuber route, it was fucking weird. Like, he was literally like a kid playing a video game, and he made his voice like high pitched, trying to sound like a child. When I think of VTubers, that's what I think of. But again, like Sunshine called out Adonis Paul, right? I watched some of his stuff when he did Latitty. That was fine, right? He was like a late night dude, late night host playing that type of character. I get that for his type of content. But, you know, the way I see it is this, right? I mean, you really can't generalize certain people to like judge everyone else, because it's almost like, you know, kind of like having like a prejudice, right? But again, when you see like the jiggly physics and all that shit, it's kind of easy to have that bias. But just talking to someone, like I said, I talked to her behind that. She seems cool as fuck. I ain't gonna take that away from her. She does seem super fucking cool. So I'll give her that. So, but let's get back to this.
And should have been left unsent. I would wish you luck tonight, but
Yeah, so he's basically saying that he wishes that she never said that. But whatever, right? He's just, this is the overbearing protector right here. You don't need to say that. Just go up there and prove it. Like, all right, bro, calm down. With your fucking 18 views. Like, let's calm down, bro.
I don't think you need it. I know you're going to do great. And this support continues. After my first stream on the Becky Boop Network, Gamers Asylum says, I'm always happy to help you in any way I can. You have such a positive and wonderful personality that is rare these days. You deserve all the success your future holds. Okay, so what happens then is that Becky goes back to the LCU, right? For one episode.
Yeah, the motherfucker took cafe from me. Or tried to, anyway. But that's beside the point. Oh, man, that whole fucking... God, reliving that whole shit just pisses me the fuck off, bro. Her Mike doing that shit. But it was for a greater good. It was for a greater cause, and I totally understand it, right? I totally do understand it. But at the time, bro, I was so fucking heated. Heated. By the way, I was going through, like, my equipment and shit because I need to get ready for some other stuff I'm doing, and I found these little charms. Y'all remember these? And fucking Bean signed them, and I was going to sign them. Y'all remember these little things? I still got these fucking, you know, little cafe mementos. Ah, the good old days. All right, let me stop going down memory lane. All right. Oh, man. This is Ivixey. I know you all have heard me recommend her before. I'm doing it again. She is an amazing streamer. Go to her Twitch and YouTube channel. Show her some love. You won't regret it. Hashtag Ivixey for LCU, and then header tags there. Beautiful.
And she's like talking to, or two, I think. And there was a conversation between Becky and Michael. And the Gamers Asylum donated that day saying, oh, don't forget Ivixey. You know, if you're going back to the LCU, Becky, you should take her with you. And that sort of put my name out there in the LCU as well.
Pushing, bro. My man was pushing. Like, he was fucking gooning hard, bro. And remember, guys, she says, he stated, I'm falling in love with you after a week. He said, according to her, that's what he said. Do we know that's true? None of us know if that's true. But, like, this all started in early January, and now we're in fucking, like, mid to late January. So, my man's going out of his fucking way, bro, to promote this chick, straight up. And what do you think, what do you think that's doing to her head? What kind of signals do you think that's sending to her, bro? Like, it's fucked up. It truly is fucked up. And here you go. He's replying to fucking Cassandra and Ivixey right here, bro. I've watched enough of your content and the way you treat your community to know that you are the real deal when it comes to entertaining in the audience. You deserve the exposure the LCU can give you. You have my support so much that neither Mike nor Keem will hear the end of it. They will never hear the end of it. You hear that, chat? Fuck. And then right here, while both Michael and Keem have said very nice things about me, I don't know how much weight there is to what I think. I can say one thing, though. If you give her a show, I will crown so that they know just how good she is. Guys, let's think about this. My man's already saying I'm going to drop $500 if she goes on a show, right? Already. I'm going to drop this $500 crown. Wherever she goes, I'm going to be the first crown. Probably the only crown. But I'm going to be the first crown, bro. This is creepy. Because this is some dude online that's throwing money at you like hand over fist, fucking trying to like build you up to all these fucking people. And this is all she sees. And then she sees this chick Cassandra, right? And she's fucking blowing her up too, and he's replying. They're almost tag teaming her when you think about it, with the fucking with the promotion and all that. Now he's saying, Caint Promotion, I'm gonna drop $500. I'm gonna give you $500 to fucking put her on the show. I'm just saying, bro. That's fucking wild. Oh, real quick. Let's do something real quick. I thought about this fucking the other day. So a crown is $500, right? So that means a 25% portion is 125 bucks. So you divide that, right? Or multiply that times 0.3 for the 30%. So that's 37.5. So then you subtract 125 from 37.5, and that's 87.50, right? And then after Uncle Sam's cut, right? After Uncle Sam's cut, that's another for 30%, roughly. That's $87.50. So, and then that's $26.25, right? So if you subtract that from $26.25, that means for a crown, they pocket $61. I can't, bro. God. Bull Zeeb, there was no actual promotion, though. Dude was a nobody, had no following, no content of his own, tweeting to empty air. The delusion is crazy. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the shit this dude is doing, bro, it's stalker. It's borderline fucking stalker behavior. Well, it's not. It is stalkerish behavior. Like, it's fucking crazy to me, dude. Fucking crazy to me. But that's beside the point. All right, let's continue.
What does he have to say about this? I have watched enough of your content and the way you treat your community to know you are real. The real deal when it comes to entertaining an audience. You deserve the exposure the LCU can give you. You have my support so much that neither Mike nor Keem will hear the end of it. And this is true. This actually happened. They did not hear the end of it. At least through donations. It happened quite a few times. And Keemstar really started to see the Gamers Asylum as someone that was really backing this content creator, which was me at the time. While both Michael and Keemstar have said very nice things about me, I don't know about much weight there is to what I think. I can say one thing, though. If they give her a show, I will crown so that they know just how good she is. So he did say from...
Boom. She's going to pocket $65. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to do that, bro. I had to do that. Oh, man. Fuck my life. I'm getting... Well, I can't get fired because I'm my own boss. All right, let's continue.
The very start, before we ever even talked in private, that he was going to crown if I ever had an LCU show. Okay, let's see. What is this? I just found out about it this morning when I donated for you to be given a chance in the LCU. I joined their Discord because I had bought a membership. Becky banned everyone who followed her there. Okay, so when this happened, it was...
I'm sorry. I was reading fucking Thrifty. Hey, Zali gets 130 because she has no co-host. That's facts, bro. That is facts. All right, so... This is to Ivixey, Becky Boop, and the Real Gamers. So this is to fucking Ivixey, Becky, and fucking Cassandra with this 67 views. I just found out this morning when I donated for you to be given a chance in the LCU. I joined their Discord because I had bought a membership. Becky banned everyone who followed her for some reason. My understanding is really whittled. It is really whittled down to her supporters. So yeah, that was a whole big thing. You're hired, Ken. Appreciate you, Thrifty. So that was the whole big thing that fucking, like, Becky and Keem were, like, banning people that were in the other fucking servers and shit. Like, it got, whatever, bro. I can't. Fire yourself, interview yourself, get rehired. Facts. I should, Bull Zeeb. God, I can't. So, yeah, fucking, so he's reaching out on Twitter saying, like, why is he banned? But keep in mind, right, he's not tagging Keem or fucking Lolcow Live or anything. He's just tagging them. So he's trying to get back in with Becky Boop. Because I think she was still over there or whatever the fuck, right? But, you know. All right. Living my life. So Rastov gets on his knees for 65 bucks. I mean, never mind. I'm not going to address that. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have done the math. That's probably really wrong of me. I shouldn't have done that. Fuck it. I don't care. I should have done that. Fuck it. All right. Let's continue.
Had bought a membership. Becky banned everyone who followed her there. Okay, so when this happened, it was a lot. Becky was obviously being tricked and humiliated over in the LCU, and there was a lot of questions. There were a lot of questions, and because I was a streamer in the LCU, a lot of those questions were asked to me as well, like what's gonna happen now? They wanted to know if I felt betrayed, and that is when eventually I did a live stream on the subject. Apparently, Gamers Asylum is so good at
I'm not gonna address it, Lunchbox. Fuck you.
storytelling that he got a job. Yeah, he did. He did. Well, Ivixey joined the LCU. I thought it was funny that they were talking about me over there, so I made a clip. And Gamers Asylum says, I know it is unfortunate that it does. Ivixey has a better head on her shoulders than most, though. I am just like you. I want her to do what makes her the happiest, and couldn't agree more that success is going to follow her no matter where she's at. I was always...
Yeah, so, again, it's fucking wild, bro. Bullzeeb, I'm shocked how his son, how he has a son when this is his courting tactics, by the way. I mean, we're all young at some point. By the way, bro, that some bitch is claiming to be 40 years old. There's no shot he is 40 years old, bro. I'm 39. I turn 40 next year, bro. There's no fucking shot. No shot. Look, bro, let's real fucking quick, bro. I gotta do this real quick. I'm sorry. I gotta do this real quick, bro. There is no fucking shot that this dude is 40 years old. There's just like, look. No. I'm sorry. It's just no. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way this dude is fucking 40 years old. I'm sorry. If he's 40, bro, I'm 30. Maybe even fucking 28. Damn, to be 28 again. Oh man. All right. Let's continue. Lunchbox, if he's 40, who beat the fuck out of him? I mean, he was a Marine and he deployed out. So I'll cut him a little bit of slack on that one. But I'm just saying, bro, there's no shot. But all right, let's continue this. I'm sorry.
I was very appreciative of how far he went to promote me, even back then. I and many others will support you in or out of the BBU, LCU, whatever you do what is best for you. I don't want you to do anything less. Okay.
Yeah, so this is like her whale telling her this. So what is she supposed to think? Like, what is this telling her? Like, this dude must really fucking like me. You know what I mean? Because this motherfucker dropping bans on this motherfucker, bro.
Oh my gosh, you're too kind. That would be such a statement. It really would be a statement, but it is one that I'm not joking about. You have the content, you have the great community. Seriously, I haven't met anyone there that I didn't like. So at this point, I think he's already going to my Twitch streams and participating on the Discord. And
bro, this sounds like that big L word right there, bro. Sounds like that L word starting to come up. What do you guys think? Is that L word starting to pop up, chat? I think so.
And then some conversations start between Cassandra and him as well, because, you know, a lot of Cassandra's being very vocal about what she's seeing, and Gamers Asylum is having back and forth conversations. He talks about, are they sweeping piece? Because I did a piece on Michael with
I'm not in the business of doubting servicemen, but he is a proven liar, so I don't know what else to say when it comes to that. I mean, here's the thing, bro. If you want to make that claim, make that claim. I'm not a Marine, so I wouldn't even know how to start to ask him questions. I do know a Marine that could ask him some questions. Shout out Complexity on the Lasting Opinion. I know a Marine that could ask him some questions. I was an Army guy, so if he was in the Army, I could definitely ask him some questions. But that's beside the point. But, you know, if he wants to claim that, that's up to him. And if it's proven some stolen valor, that's also on him. Once you make that claim, that's on you, bro. That is on you. And if anyone wants to ever bring it up, bro, throw Plex in there to ask him some questions. I don't buy his son as a soldier, that's for sure. His son does look young as fuck. I'll say that much. His son looks young as shit. Like, young. Like, not 18 young. That's all I'm going to say. And the other thing, too, bro, is I said this on my stream yesterday. He wants to talk all that shit about a donator, talking about, like, his son being in the fucking, like making the statement about his son being a soldier and all that shit. Motherfucker went to the BBU after Becky made her comment about mocking my PTSD and with the ticking time bomb and fucking her and Jaffe laughing that, the movie theater is one war movie away from me and everyone not leaving the same again. Guys, don't forget, Becky did that with Jaffe, bro. They made that whole narrative about me and that I was going to be the next one to snap and all this shit. And fucking whenever I went up and said anything to Becky, she always threw my PTSD in my face. So people fail to forget that, right? I know I've been cool with her community, like her fans, like Thick Gemini, CC, fucking FBI director and all them, Mary, Queen J and all that. I've been cool with them because they didn't do anything to me. So I'm not going to judge them based on her actions. And I really want to just kind of move forward. We all kind of have a clean slate, right? And we just don't talk about it, right? It just, because if the subject comes up, they know my thoughts on it, but I'll leave it alone, right? I'll leave it alone because they didn't say it. So I'm not going to judge them based on her words. I don't do that. But yeah, bro, like he's hilarious, more grandstanding, knowing he supported a bitch that said that. So if he wants to get mad at a donator for making a comment about his son's service, he needs to look in the mirror about who he's supporting and what they said about a soldier with PTSD. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. All right, I'm going to back up a little bit because I forgot what they were talking about. Sorry about that.
On the Discord, and then some conversations start between Cassandra and him as well, because, you know, a lot of Cassandra's being very vocal about what she's seeing, and Gamers Asylum is having back and forth conversations. He talks about, are they sweeping piece, because I did a piece on Michael with the domestic abuse allegation. Becky going to the LCD didn't bother me. I'm all for someone doing what they feel is best for them. I can support that 100%. But you never hurt or put the people that helped you get there in a compromising position. So there was a very general opinion that Becky was betraying a lot of people by going back to the LCU. I, for one, did not have that opinion. I really backed the concept of, you know, you're doing it for content, you're doing it for the entertainment, you're doing it to keep things interesting. So I did not blame her for that. Of course, there are other...
Yeah, I don't agree with that one. I don't at all agree with that one. Because, fucking... How can I put this? In my humble opinion, if she would have stayed in the LCU, if that whole thing was real, and she left the BBU behind, then I definitely think her major supporters, because she said, I'll never go back, Keem's the devil, Mike's the devil, blah, blah. Like, I think it's easy to say it was just for entertainment because it was a one-night stand or a two-night stand, whatever you want to call it. It's easy to say that in hindsight. But if she would have stayed and done the whole B-Circuit thing with Mike, if that was real and all that shit, bro, I don't think a lot of her hardcore fans would have accepted her back. Now, I know Savage is on Queen, so that's up to Savage and Savage's fans to determine how they feel about that because of what Savage said, right? I don't judge nobody, right? I mean, if they want to go back and work for people, that's on them. They got to look in the mirror and explain to their fan base why they did that. You know what I mean? That I don't judge nobody, but I'm just saying, if I was a fan of a creator and they were talking all this shit about somebody, but then if you look at what the BBU was doing money-wise compared to what she was doing when she was in the LCU, it's very evident why she would have went back. But again, in hindsight, it's easy to say, I only did it for the entertainment value because it just didn't work out. It's easy to say that. So that's my humble opinion. Living my life, Condon Shipley. He will do a dive with receipts. It ain't worth all that. It ain't. The truth always comes to the light, and that's all I'm gonna say. It always comes to the light.
Things to blame in that situation, like for example, not communicating with your other content creators that you have behind you, right? But that's a whole other story. Dixie, don't worry about losing my support. I often turn your channel on and listen while I'm at work, and I will continue to send support on your Twitch channel. What happens in the BBU does not affect how entertaining and personable you are.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. I will continue to send you support on your Twitch channel. What happened in the BBU doesn't affect how entertaining and personable you are. How personable you are. Those 3 words right there, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. L word. Fucking L word, bro. I'm telling you. Falling in love like a motherfucker, bro.
And I will continue to send
Squish La La, what up? Appreciate you being here.
Support on your Twitch channel. What happens in the BBU does not affect how entertaining and personable you are. So then I do an episode on Becky where I'm like, where is she? What's going to happen now after she went to the LCU? She got quiet. I'm sure she had to like deal with a bunch of different feelings.
I totally forgot. I forgot about that. Thank you for subbing, Big Rider. I appreciate you, bro. Oh, man. Jesus. Poop guy, I will give Keem credit for one thing. Making gamers mad as nuts is pretty. Oh, it's hilarious. It is fucking hilarious. I'm sorry, bro. Scooter and Albert, they're just. I mean, it was cool in the beginning, but I just don't see it being sustainable. I just don't. Because how often are you gonna embarrass yourself and do stupid shit? I mean, Scooter already put his thumb up his ass. I mean, how do you come back from that? And he fucking licked it. How do you come back from that? Fake or not, right? Fake or not. How do you come back from that? You know, like. You always gotta like top. You always gotta top what you just did because the fans are gonna get bored, right? So, fucking shaving your chest and putting mustard on it so you put yourself in pain. I mean, just saying. And the baby oil, bro. Like God, I can't, bro. Whatever.
I did suggest to Becky going on her channel, like I do usually on Saturday, or I used to do on Saturdays, and I suggested that she would go on with me. I can sort of moderate and ask the right questions, and someone that was on her side asking those questions, but she didn't want to talk with me on the channel. So what I did instead, I only felt comfortable doing this on my channel. My channel was not monetized at the time, so we could not monetize this whole situation. And so I did a stream on my end, sort of defending her in the sense that, you shouldn't feel betrayed. This is all like an entertainment sort of situation. It is not personal to anyone that was watching her.
A lot of people took it personally. Matter of fact, let's look at how personally they took it. Let's just do a quick little search. Quick little fucking search. Right? Y'all know I don't talk and type. Yeah, well, I'm talking and typing now, but I'm not talking and saying what I'm saying. Videos. Popular. Actually, no, wrong word. Latest. There we go. 355 comments. You weren't betrayed. You betrayed everyone. Becky, just leave the online shit show. Money does crazy things to a person. Look here, listen. Does anyone seriously buy this manipulative bullshit? 13 replies. You didn't name any names in the video, but 110 you alluded to Etika because of the, sewer slide stuff. Just take the L and move on. Wow, I don't even know what to say here. This is not the move. You are not a victim here. You caused all this. Big L. Self-inflicted wounds suck. Can't wait for the Roxy stream. Becky the psychic couldn't see that coming. Yeah, where the fuck was Spirit to tell you that shit? Take all the time you need, folks. Okay, so how far down we finally got a positive comment? You got destroyed. So I'm just saying, bro, I think people took it personally. So I'm just going to disagree with her on that one. I did think people took it personally. But that's my opinion based on what I'm saying. Bull Z, Blowcow Network has gone so downhill. I mean, people have said that. I mean, fucking someone the other day in the Discord said that it went downhill after I left. I mean, whatever, bro. Yeah, the type of content they do, I would not make money over there. I just wouldn't, and I know that. And I'm not about to start doing all that shit to try to compete. I'm just not. And like I told Batgirl, it wasn't fair on her to make her do all the stunts. It just wasn't. That's why I kind of delved into doing the dumb shit. Because it wasn't fair to her to keep embarrassing herself and putting herself through torturous shit without me doing anything, right? But there was only so much I was going to do. And just to be fair to her, I started doing some of the dumb shit, right? Because I felt bad. But that's neither here nor there. Help me with that. You're not saying what you're saying. I have no idea what you mean by that. Living my life. Let's continue.
But what happened was, Becky did call in to my show, and she was very upset with what was happening in the chat, particularly because a lot of people had very strong opinions, and I did not have any mods at the time. I did not expect it to blow up the way it did, so I did not have any mods in the chat. It did go a little crazy, so I did feel guilty at the time that my chat was not modded appropriately. So what happens then is that Gamers Asylum says as follows: I understand completely. If you do need someone that moderates in the community, I'm always at your service, and it won't be help. The chat really wasn't your fault. The emotions were so high in the chat that an army of mods may not have been much use. So
I'll say that. I mean, I'm sure people. I didn't watch the stream obviously because I really didn't. Whatever back then, I could care less, right? But but him saying that and it won't be help. Like whatever I do, don't consider it help. That's fucking hilarious. Zekwe can redirect in locale rewind. I'm probably going to go longer than rewind, but maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how long this video is, but maybe I'll redirect to him. But yeah, bro, like, this is this is a lot. He's just digging himself into a hole of the L word. And, you know, even she admitted she should have saw the signs earlier, and she's sad that she didn't see the signs. And the fucked up part is now, if someone's like genuine that comes along, it's gonna hurt her, right? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It's gonna be very hard for her to trust again. That's what I should have said, not hurt her, but it's gonna be hard for her to trust again because she already said she had trust issues. Fucking Gamers Asylum says she has trust issues. So you are not helping in the situation, bro. Straight up. So
this is when I first hear about him being available to moderate, and from my perspective at the time, he was very supportive. He was screaming my name off the rooftops, right? He was like going.
There should have been signs, bro. Dropping money and all kinds of fucking promoting you to fucking 70 views on an X post. Like, come on, bro. That's not a lot at all. And he really didn't have any kind of like clout. I don't know what type of clout he thinks he has, but you know, I mean, yeah, he gets views because of other people posting and tagging certain people, right? Of course, they're going to view it, but I don't know what type of clout he thinks he has. Like, I truly don't, but that's beside the point.
Through lengths to put my name out there, and he seemed to be very neutral. I don't remember if at the time he was already modding for Roxy, because Roxy had already left the BBU. He was always a big supporter of Roxy, so he had from all things that I could gather at the time, he was the person to moderate and be able to be neutral and let everybody talk without while still being respectful to the topic that's being discussed. He was presented to me as the right option for being a moderator. So I did end up reaching out to him, and I asked if he could be my moderator, and he was very happy to accept.
He only had 200 followers. That's fucking beautiful, bro. I mean, I don't have that many, but I created my X account, a month ago? I can't.
Yeah, God, I'm talking a lot. Hey, Sanity. It was like Gamers was doing a one-man dementia play, but Ivixey ended up being real. There's so much. Big mistake. Yeah, big mistake. I did not know any better at the time. Becky was also very scared of losing his support, and he was very well perceived.
That is probably one of the most biggest statements right there. Becky did not want to lose his support, bro. She kept all those big donators close, right? Your Nick Stones, your Suffa Horses, your Marys, fucking Gamers Asylum, and all those people dropping the pinks and the reds and shit. That's all she had. And one thing Keemstar always said was, don't make your show for your top donators, right? Because your other people are not going to watch anymore. And eventually it's going to get stale and it's going to get boring, right? Because you're only catering to 4 or 5 people. That's kind of what I feel Becky was doing a lot of the time, right? That's just, from an outsider's perspective, that's just kind of what I thought happened there. Big Easy Rider, I believe that TGA served with one of the people in her Twitch community. He has also made statements against Becky talking about your service. Oh, well, there you go. I appreciate that. But still donated money to the bitch. You must not have felt that strongly about it, but that's beside the point. I appreciate you telling me that. Tommy R, I have 2,000, but it means nothing. There you go, bro. There you go.
By everybody at the time. Yes, I'm doing okay, Kai. I'm, telling my side of the story, so that I can be, registered. If people allow me to tell my story and not try to strike me and let it be out there, then that would be very nice. Because yeah, it was necessary. I didn't get to say much this week, so yeah, a lot of people giving a lot of opinions and things to say about it, and I didn't. I got to say a little bit. I was also on Lookout Test at one point, and before that, I showed up on.
And it was confirmed that his son and daughter serve. One is 81 Bravo, and the other is a 74 Delta. Beautiful. All right, well, there you go, bro. I was a 92 Fox, petroleum supply specialist. I delved into like hazardous materials because I was in an aviation unit, and of course, because of maintenance, you got a bunch of like hazardous shit. So when I was full time, I dealt with all that, but that's all beside the point. But no, I appreciate you telling me that, Big Easy Rider. Thank you so much.
Roxy stream and Lookout Live, but yeah, only the last one was really my choice to go up there. So yeah, all these interactions between Cassandra and the Gamers Asylum happened. I was trying to humanize Becky at the time still, because I did not like how much hate she was getting. I did not like how humiliated she was over on the LCU. So that was really my perspective at the time. Even when she wanted to part ways with me because she was so offended by my actions, I still wanted to say that she was going through a lot, right? So I wasn't happy with her, but I wasn't like trash talking or anything else either. At this point, we're starting to see Cassandra show interest in our interactions, asking him about his cars and what movie they're from. So this is where the gassing up starts from Cassandra to Gamers Asylum, right?
I'm still on the fence of how exactly Cassandra knew Gamers Asylum? Like, what was that story? Because I know, like, online or whatever, and like, and let's just say this is an alt, right? Let's just say this is an alt. He's literally using a female to talk to him so he can gas himself up. But if anyone really asks, like, how do y'all know each other? You know what I mean? Like, I still don't understand that whole entire story.
So you'll find these interactions between them where she's like, "Oh, do you still have that purple car? What movie was it in?" And then he answers with a picture of his cars, and he's like, "I have 3. The one with the red and maroon, the chameleon paint was an iron protector." I don't know that movie, but yeah. So he's like she's like really gassing him up, and she's like, "Yeah, I have all these things, you know." Yeah. And when Becky went back to the LCU, Cassandra was very vocal on feeling betrayed and how I was being.
He claims he hired a maid that was related to her. Yeah. So I know that, but he did say that evidently Cassandra lived in the same town as him, and it was a very small town. But it's just weird that they didn't recruit for it. Yeah, so I I talked about that before. I did do a little bit of recruiting for like a year, but that's beside. I fucking hated that shit. But that's beside the point. But yeah, no, but like he said that they lived like in a small town, and like everybody knows everybody, and it doesn't add up, dude. It just feels like you're just trying to like plug in shit that you want to try to make sense to keep the story going, but when people question it, when you answer it, you kind of negate what you said before, and then you just make it even more convoluted. That's kind of what this seems like. That's just my own personal opinion.
Respectful in the episode. At the time, Cassandra was, taking the position of Gamers Asylum at the time. But I was being respectful towards Becky. Let's see. She shows support towards me, even mentioning having been on the Twitch side of things. At the same time, she's very vocal towards Becky's actions. Yeah, so she says she went on the Twitch, right? I never saw her until much later. But she says, Ash Eternal with a...
Ooh, Minty. Haha. That's the name we heard on Freshy's channel. I can't.
$2 says, "Hello, you've been selected to receive $7,000. Oh, man. This whole talk about the $7,000 is great, right? Because we'll get into that. I chose not to do the math because I could do the math, right? Because some people, when they hear $7,000, they feel like, $7,000 might have hit my bank account and that I can take I don't know, I can go on a nice trip or go live in luxury or something, but...
Yeah, that whole thing with the $7,000, like, it's not about money, but how many times has he brought that up too, right? Like, that's just fucked up. Like, why are you keeping track, bro? If you really care about somebody and you really want to help them out, why are you keeping track? Like, unless it's a business thing and there's contracts involved and all that other shit, bro. Like, why are you gonna keep bringing it up if you really don't care about it? That's how I see it.
That is not exactly what that is, right? So even though, I don't know, maybe 7,000 has been spent, it's very possible, that is not exactly hitting my bank account, right? But we'll get to that. Not only was it over time, but obviously the time is not that much. We've known each other for maybe 2.5 months, 3 months max.
Yep.
So it would have been over 3 months that he'd spent the $7,000.
So he said a couple months, so that averages out to $3,500 if it's really a couple of months, right? If it's 3 months, then you're talking, what, 2,300 and change? 2,300, the fraction or whatever the fuck. That's still a lot of fucking money, bro. That's still a lot of fucking money to spend on somebody that you've never even fucking met before, you don't have a business contract with. Like, that just doesn't make sense. But, again, that's just me.
But it wasn't just... He always said there was like promotional stuff that he did behind the scenes. He did pay for 2 types of software for us to work on the docket and the thumbnails and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot more involved than just gifted memberships or donations and such. But I will not in any way dismiss how much he did donate. By the way, he did donate a lot and he did gift a lot of memberships. Hey, Onion Wolf. It's just not that amount. Cassandra says, "I have watched Ivixey stuff, Twitch stuff, and she is pretty good. And in context of talent, from what I've seen, she caught a whale. Gotta mention TGA in there somehow. That Becky has been fishing for. That whale is extremely loyal, and if that whale does its thing other than dropping money like it burns, Ivixey will blow up."
Yep. So obviously we all know who she's talking about. Cassandra, fucking Gamers right there. So yeah, fucking Cassandra's gassing up Gamers again, saying that he's a fucking whale, and that's one whale that Becky's after, and like, on some level, Becky's probably pissed off that he went to Ivixey and not her. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
Right? So... There's this whole gassing up of TGA that, without, at the same time, the Gamers Asylum is saying that they don't know who she is. He only figures it out later that she's like someone in his town, but that's later. At this point, she's just gassing him up without knowing him. This was about the cats. So she was very vocal against Becky at this point and very supportive of me. Gamers does claim he spent 7,000. Yeah, I have not done the math. On me, yes, and I believe that that might be very true. But like I said, it is from what he's told me, it is spent on many different things, like promotional stuff. Where he does mention merch a lot, but I've personally never touched or seen anything. He talks about like card sleeves and like 3D figurines, but like these were conversations that we had. It wasn't actually put into practice, and he's talking like it was, So I don't know. Maybe he put a bunch of money in making that a reality. I was never part of that. We were just discussing, wouldn't it be cool to have like a figurine of Ivixey? Sure, that was said, but beyond.
Yeah, he fucking had one behind his ass, fucking probably gooning to it and shit. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, if you're having these, like, product conversations and merch conversations, again, that's just, like, on a business level. And you're just going to put all this money out there with no way to, like, cover your ass or whatever. If this dude really owns, like, a talent business, which I'm sure, I'm gonna say he does. I'm pretty sure with all his talent that he has some sort of, like, contract in place. So that way he's also covered. So that way he gets part of the sale. You know what I mean? There's no way in fucking hell that he was going to just let all this shit happen, let her get all the fucking proceeds, and he's just donating all this money. Unless he's trying to get into those pixel pants. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, bro. He wants to get in between those pixel tits. You know what I'm saying? Like, going into pixels, bro. Spending this much money. Like, I can't, bro.
On that, people keep thinking that, the figurine, the acrylic standee behind him was something that he was involved in. No, and thankfully he does correct that when it happens. He was not involved in that. All the merch items that have been out so far, was me, my creativity behind it, and my work behind it, okay?
Good on you, bro. Good on you.
He continues to gas up. Gamers, if you guys want to check out my Twitter, by the way, I did not want to share DMs here on this stream, but if you go to my Twitter, there are some really insane things that Cassandra has said to me in private back then, to gas up Gamers Asylum, talking about how he's, can do things to a girl. I don't know. Anyway, so
Jesus.
at the time, she keeps gassing him up. She said,
how the fuck would she know, bro? If it's true that the maid was, how does she know what Gamers Asylum can do to a woman? That doesn't make sense. That does not at all make sense. And it sounds like he's getting that L word, right? He's falling in love with this chick. So he's using a female, alt, right, if it's him, to talk about what he can do to a woman. That right there should have been a massive fucking red flag to Ivixey. Because it's like, well, how do you know? Like, are y'all involved? Like, have y'all been involved? Because that would add a layer of shit that just didn't need to be added to it. That's all I'm saying. That's just weird, bro.
Says, you are not just a name in the chat. I know it sounds creepy, but I know who you are. That does sound kind of creepy. I met you at the local homecoming and asked you for a selfie with your purple car and guitars. I noticed the name on your locale hoodie later. I trimmed the pic so it didn't dox you. I would have loved to see the full picture of this because supposedly she's saying there's a selfie with her, him, together. Wouldn't it be nice to see the full picture of this, So many people that you could shut.
Yeah, so here we go. I met you at a local homecoming and asked you for a selfie with your purple car and guitars. I noticed the name on the locale hoodie later and trimmed the pic. So yes. Apparently, this is how they met, and I guess she never said anything, and then she happened to find him on Twitter and just kept talking to him and shit, like fucking so that never really came up. So Cassandra is doing borderline stalkerish activity, but then she's also telling Ivixey that, he really knows what to do with a woman. So again, this is just not adding up. None of this shit makes sense. Twisted SMF, I had the same red flags with Stallion. He was a friend. I foolish went along with the shit he fed me. Well, there you go, bro.
Up with sharing that picture.
By the way, I watched your video, Twisted, and I showed like the message you showed from gamers and shit. That was fucking beautiful, bro. That's some chat GPT shit if I've ever seen it.
But yeah, it does not exist, does it? A lot of people would shit themselves if they knew who you are. So, at this point, I wasn't exactly suspicious that Cassandra was him. The way that she was talking to me in DMs was a little bit weird, but some people are weird, maybe she was just weird. So, I wasn't going to go further than that.
It's not just weird talking about what he would do to a woman. That's a little much. Especially knowing what he's saying to you and all it. God, I fucking can't.
Maybe she was just, very vocal on how she felt about getting her panties drenched. Anyway. So,
God,
that's
fucking
fine.
gross.
Some people just are like that, right? Really open. I would buy 10K the merch. I want some merch. 10K. Not necessary. It's not that expensive. If Roxy's stream was the first time gamer showed his face, how would she know who he was? Well, Cassandra says this was during homecoming, a local homecoming. So Cassandra is saying that all of her talk at this point is based on the fact that she knows him locally, right? Please verify your email for 7,000 in Temu bucks. Temu bucks. Oh no, not Temu bucks. I can't use them for anything. She knows about his cars, his guitars, his business, his reputation as a local hero. You know, that's how she presents him. So really supportive. Ivixey did an amazing show. I admit I was shocked when you were encouraging Becky to give her a bigger platform right away. So this was in response to what Gamers Asylum was doing at the time. I really wish you go back into producing. This was an interesting thing, that interaction between her and Gamers Asylum on X. She was saying, I really wish you would go back into producing. You made some...
What are you producing, bro? What exactly did he produce? Oh, he made some of the funniest videos. Also, live streams were amazing. I need the old TGA back. So did he ever have, like, media that was out there like that? Look, bro. Look. The way he writes scripts, like that shit they played on Locale Live and the one they play today with the shit, that was just so fucking bad. Like, I don't understand how he could write funny scripts. Like, I just don't see it, bro. Maybe it's not my type of humor. Like, people love, you know, Scooter putting a thumb up his ass, and they think Sweet Tea's entertaining as fuck, and Scooter's entertaining as fuck, and Rastoff's entertaining as fuck. I don't find them entertaining. I'm not talking about them as a person, just the entertainment value. I personally just do not find them entertaining. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm just this fucking prude old fucking boomer that likes fucking classic film, like silent film and shit, and I don't like what people find funny now. Maybe I'm fucked up, Chad. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm the one that's fucked up, and I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. Maybe that is the truth, right? Maybe. I just don't see what the hell is funny about this dude. I have no fucking clue, bro. I'm sorry. Bull Z, but doubt it. Facts.
Very funny videos. Also, your live streams were amazing. We need the old TGA back. So at this point, I'm not sure if I include this, but I think I do at some point. She is saying that he was a big, massive, insanely massive streamer on Hitbox, right? I don't know. She doesn't mention numbers, but she says.
What the fuck is Hitbox? I've never heard of Hitbox. I can't.
He was a big streamer on Hitbox. I'm not sure what exactly that means. It really depends on perspective, but yeah, that is her side. She has been clearly a fan for a very long time of TGA, right? Wanting the old TGA back and everything. This was after my first stream on the Becky Boop Network. She says, like, when you were making AI, I think this was talking to someone else. So I don't have all the replies. Every time that I try to open it up, it's not there anymore. So, not sure what this was about. Did TGA hurt your little feelings because it wouldn't side with you? Not sure what that was about. I really learned a lot from the show. At first, I kind of thought the whole Avatar thing was strange, but that is because it was new. Now I think...
Real quick, Bull Deep Clear, you need to educate these men on how to not be a weirdo, Ken. You know how you not be a weirdo? Meet somebody in person. And don't fuck them the first night. That's how you not be a weirdo, bro. Actually talk to people. Like, it's easy. It's easier to not be a weirdo than to be, you know what I mean, a weirdo. It's hard to be a weirdo. Like, well, I guess it depends on who you are, right? But just, I don't fucking know, man. I try and be as normal as humanly possible. Honestly, I really try to do, and I try to be logical. But bro, what is this? Like, this dude, if Cassandra's an alt, like what is he doing? Like, what is the net gain from any of this? To drive Vixie closer to him? Because you have Cassandra gassing her up, Cassandra talking shit, Cassandra threatening to dox Ivixey, and fucking he's coming to save the day. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, if it's that fucking elaborate, you have a problem. If you have to create all these fucking alt accounts to try to make somebody get closer to you that you said you think you're falling in love with them so you can be Captain Save-A-Ho or being some fucking white knight or some shit, like, you don't know what you're doing. You truly have no idea what you're doing. Especially telling somebody you're falling in love with them the first week you fucking talk to them. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I can't. Twisted, these kids today just can't do normal human things anymore. So consumed from the internet. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Poop guy, TGA would be a great subject for a psychological study. They'd probably go crazy, bro.
The whole idea is interesting and have even look.
Imagine, like, if he has something going on and, like, all these alts are, like, different personalities. Imagine. Give his ass a fucking ham radio like they did in Monster and let him, like, have conversations, but he's, like, the two voices. Imagine that shit.
into it more. I saw Gamers Asylum promoting the stream in Roxy's chat. You got one hell of a hype man when one of the big 3 supporters...
Siren Syrup super chatted $20. So you were telling me, to get a woman's attention, I need 20 alt accounts to gas me up.
Yes.
1 sec.
Yes, listen, as much as I feel like an idiot now, that did work. So, yeah. At the time, you have to understand, there was no negative reputation attached to the Gamers Asylum. Everyone who I would talk to, the order has been processed. Everyone that I would talk to at the time about Gamers Asylum, all they had to say really was that he was just a big supporter in the LCU. He would...
Probably one of his alts.
You know, participate in voice chats. He was a nice guy. There was nothing evil attached to his reputation at the time. So I had no reason to believe that all these people gassing him up were not real people, right? No woman tweets like that. I have heard people say that as well, being of the opinion of, yeah. And if you go back to her old tweets, apparently that is even more apparent. I can't really say much about that. I don't identify misogyny very easily, as some other people have, so I'm not sure. Let's see.
Jesus. Talk about a fucking jump scare. But nah, dude, I don't get it, man. And here's the thing, dude. And like, this is like honestly and true, right? Like, you gotta feel bad for Ivixey, like as a person. Like, yeah, I know VTube or whatever, right? But just her as a person, you gotta feel bad for her because this motherfucker gassed her up. Had all these fucking alts, like talking, alleged alts, I'm sorry. All these alleged alts, like talking to her, trying to like gas him up and try to like drive wedges and create this drama so he can come and solve it, right? You gotta feel bad for her on a personal level, right? I truly do feel bad for her because you got this motherfucker giving her all this money, dropping L words, and she's confused and not really confused, but she's trying to process these emotions and shit. And she really doesn't know like what's real and what's not real. She can only go on what she sees. I think a lot of that too, which she also states, a lot of her life is online. A lot of her social interactions are online. But when you're around people and you talk to people and you can read them, you can read body language, you can normally spot a charlatan and like a shit talker and like a fucking someone who just lies. You can probably spot those a mile off unless they're a fucking used car salesman. But that's beside the point. You know what I'm trying to say. You can easily tell and see like warning signs compared to like online, because on this keyboard, like you can be anybody you want to be, and then once you leave this shit, you can be a totally different person, right? That's why I like doing like face-to-face shit. That's why I like knowing who I'm talking to, because that's just kind of how I grew up and that's kind of how I was, right? But, you know, I'm just saying. Twisted, I'm the same. I feel stupid now. I should have known better on so many things. I think you're talking about the Italian stallion shit. Hyde, I feel so sorry for giving her false hope. It's not right. Facts, dude. I agree with you. And then the poop guy, if she had trust issues before, I can't imagine this help. Fuck no, it didn't help, bro. It didn't help at all. Not one single bit. You already know that shit, bro. Straight up. Straight fucking up.
Yeah. This is the point where Cassandra starts to go against Becky as well. She says, oh, no, that's not against her. This is still supportive of her. This is still July 4th. She is a elevated human being because she didn't want to stay around and be abused while Keemstar was destroying his own creation and pushing away some of his best supporters. The LCU, odd take, really odd take. And the LCU is dying. So this was the perspective of Becky at the time too, right? When she was creating her own network, Becky was saying this a lot, that the LCU was dying.
Yeah.
Gamers quickly got excited about being involved in my launch as a drama commentator, and I was getting approached to do interviews after Becky called into my show. He put his foot forward to handle the interest coming from people.
Yeah, so this is kind of where he assumed the manager role, right? This is where he was like trying to like field people, like wanting to talk to her, and he was going to figure out if they were real and shit. She goes into more detail about the depths he would go to try to create this illusion of him being a manager for her, right? So let's let her tell this story, because it's better if she tells it.
Well, so at this point, I had only asked him to be my mod, right? I had only asked him to be my mod. But there was a lot of people reaching out to me, especially through Twitter, like through replies to my posts saying, like Nightmare, for example, was reaching out. The real art, Review Tech USA was reaching out. I'm not sure if it was a real account or not, but there were people reaching out to talk to me because of what Becky had done to call into my show, and it caused a lot of it caused a lot of conversation around what happened. So people wanted to talk to me, and Gamers Asylum sort of put his foot forward, saying that, you know, I can handle these things. I have experience managing talent, which is something that he would say a lot. So he would present himself as someone that could be, you know, the in-between person, so that I wouldn't have to filter out people. I wouldn't have to deal with the technicalities of setting like up the schedule and everything. And yeah, so he really wanted to do more than what he was doing, and I let him.
Yeah, so he's trying to be this fucking white knight for her, and like, oh, you're getting all this popularity. You got all these people wanting interviews. Let me vet them. Let me, again, be another barrier to the bullshit for you, and let me be the guy that's going to handle all this shit for you, right? Motherfucker says he has 3 businesses and he doesn't have a lot of time, but he has time to do this shit too, right? How the fuck does he have all this time to do this for her while also managing 3 businesses? That just doesn't make sense at all, bro. Bull Zeeb, I think that's the most hilarious thing about you, Ken. You're a real dude, socially proof by life. Witnessing the degeneracy online like an alien planet, bro. I have no fucking clue what the hell is wrong with these people, bro. Like, that's one thing I've always said. Like, humans are meant to be like socially interactive people, like creatures. We're meant to talk to other people. We're meant to be social and be around others and, you know, community and all that. That's what we're meant to be, right? Obviously, people go through shit. People have mental things that keep them from that. And it's sad, bro, because you really want to be around others and get that interaction. You know what I mean? Like, social anxiety disorders, like, I've always said I really don't believe in it, and I think it's curable. That's probably a hot take because I know people really do have it and shit, but just going to the store and checking out, buying a soda and just saying, hey, how you doing? Thank you so much. Have a great day. Like, just that alone is better than just online. You know what I mean? That's how I am. That's how I think. And again, I'm not a psychologist, therapist, or anything like that, but it just, I get it, man. It sucks. I wish people would be more personable. You know what I blame? I blame text messaging. Because text messaging made it to where people didn't have to look at someone else or even on the phone saying the words. Because you take away embarrassment. You take away fucking, you know, that, oh shit, what's their reaction going to be? You take away that awkward moment of like trying to court somebody or talk to somebody. You say something. You don't know how they're going to react, at least in a text message. You can just do it and just go on about your day, right? I blame text messages for this shit, bro, straight up. God, I'm a boomer. Kiki Dawn, what up? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back to this.
Because of him having, you know, he presented himself as a talent manager, and he would have my best interest in mind when setting up these interviews. At the time, he was even going as far as saying, you know, anyone that wants to interview has to have like a full list of questions, and everyone has to be like 100% ready to get you on. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. This never happened, right? Not a single person, not Nightmare, not the Nerds interview, not the Chubby interview, even though it was presented to me at the time like that. No one ever came to me with a full list of questions before I went live, right? That just doesn't happen. That's not how that works, right?
No, not at all. So here's the thing, right? Like, let's just say I have Ivixey on for just a talk, or interview, whatever you want to call it. I could have shit I want to ask her, right? But her answers are going to be dependent on how the interview goes, right? You can't just say, all right, I have 10 questions. You're going to answer these 10 questions, and that's it. You have to have some sort of natural conversation.
Oh, shit. $10 to support the KCA. Thanks for reading all my stupid comments. This one's for you, boss.
Thank you so much, Bull Zeb. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you. Yeah, man, I try and read the chat because, you know, y'all are here spending your time with me on a Friday night. You could be anywhere else, so I want to at least give y'all the common courtesy of reading your comments, right? So I appreciate y'all. Everybody here, thank you so much for being here. Kiki Dawn, poor Gen Alpha isn't going to know any different. They're not. They're not. And it's sad. It really is sad. Like, what's going to happen when you go out for a job interview, right? And you're not used to personal interaction. You know what I mean? What's going to happen when, like, the real world hits you and you have to talk to somebody? You know, you can't just text your way out of shit. You know what I mean? Like, come the fuck on, bro. Like, I can't. I truly fucking can't. All right, let's get back to Mr. Manager Man, Mr. Captain Save a Ho.
Which I get.
And I'm not calling Vixie a hoe when I say that. That's a saying, if y'all didn't know that. Just saying.
But that's what he's.
Zekwe, when I end, I know who's live, bro. Please. Please. Poop guy raised by screens and chat algorithms. Facts. Facts.
Said he could contribute. He wanted to make sure that you know, my best interests were represented when going on these interviews. It's just it never was like that. Oh yeah, his age. We're gonna come to that as well. We're gonna get to the part about his age. So yeah, Ruby Spacek. He was the one that reached out to her, even though, you know, these were all reactions to my tweets. So it's not like I couldn't have done this part, but the way that he was presenting it, he was gonna do a lot more than just reach out to them.
Real quick, I'm gonna tell you all a funny story. So you know what's funny? DM, right? I'm such a fucking boomer. I thought that only meant Discord message, right? Because I never had an X. I really didn't have anything. I didn't have any of that shit. So I thought DM always meant Discord message. So I just said I sent you a message, right? Because I hate the term DM. there was that song back in the day, It's Going Down in the DM. I thought that was the dumbest fucking song to ever walk the face of this fucking earth. So I just hated the term DM for that reason. So it's always to send you a message. And so later I found out it meant a direct message. I was like, wow, I can't. I'm such a fucking boomer, guys. I can't.
Presenting it, he was going to do a lot more than just reach out to them.
The boomer report lives. Remember that.
So this manager title was really pushed, right? And I didn't really know the extent and the proportion of this manager title. I called him manager because for me it made it easier for people to know who to talk to when they wanted to reach me. Let me comment up there. I have worked as a producer for different YouTubers for years, and I have never heard of this dude or the way he does business. Now he's presenting it as him being a talent manager locally only. Okay.
Yeah, so that was he owns like a small talent management business or some shit. It should be oh god, AOL, bro. God, you taking it back, bro. My first license plate when I was 16 actually had like my AIM fucking screen name on it, and I actually got some messages. Funny enough, I guess people put 2 and 2 together. That's funny. Pescator. So fun fact, Pescator is actually a VTuber that Keem likes because he actually knows Pescator. So, Keem hates VTubers and all that shit, but he actually knows one and he's cool with Pescator. So I think that's actually kind of funny. Just a little side note there.
He didn't present it to me at the time like that when we started talking. So I did think he had experience online with managing talent, which was not the case. I find it weird how he targeted 2 people that never had channels in the past and were new to all this. And FYI, I'll be talking all about how he even became the managed editor for me. I'll be addressing that a little bit, but obviously that's not my story to tell, so absolutely go live. And yeah, I'm very curious to understand how exactly all that went, because from everyone else's perspective, when he stopped managing me, he completely went and took over your channel, right? That's what it looks like from the outside, and it's very aggressive. It's very, like...
I think she's talking to Roxy here, because I think he tried to do the same thing to Roxy, and Roxy wasn't having it at all. So I think she's talking to Roxy here.
Whoa, what the hell's happening here, right? He loses the manager title on my end, and all of a sudden he's like taking over Roxy's channel, like,
yeah.
Cool, right? So even though I was not giving too much attention to this manager title, his alts definitely were, right? So Cassandra goes and says, Ivixey confirmed she has a manager, and it is, Gamers Asylum. For those that don't know, oh yeah, this is the one with the hitbox. Havoc was a huge streamer on hitbox, and now goes by Gamers Asylum. I hope a lot of doors are going to open for her now that she is gone from Becky Boop Show.
Ooh, she's mad. Yeah, I have no idea what the hell Hitbox is. I've never heard of Hitbox. I mean, I've heard of Blint TV, but what the fuck? What the hell is Hitbox? I can't. Living my life. I want to know where the coffee is. The coffee's in the pot for tomorrow. Like, I'm not drinking coffee at fucking almost 11 o'clock at night. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I got to take meds to go to sleep. Kiki Dawn, I don't know when it got switched to DM. I didn't know what it meant when it first changed either. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the fucking... I feel like, here's the funny part. I feel like all these like old fucks, especially like on social media, like whenever like the younger generation uses certain like acronyms and terminology, they also have to do it too. You know what I mean? So that way they can fit in. You know what I mean? It's kind of cringe if you think about it. Like fucking, like the term cap, meaning like a lie. Like hearing like old ass fuckers saying, no, that's cap. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're in your 30s. Shut up. Like, grow the fuck up, bro.
Becky Sawgame was working with me and accused him of being a groomer. She was very weirded out by all...
Yeah, that's probably the wrong word, but like, if you think about it, you can, like, adults can groom adults, obviously. But, yeah, that is a really weird word to use, especially talking about a VTuber. Right, that's all I'm saying, bro. Especially about a VTuber, that is a really weird word to use.
Of this, which honestly I get because it happened very fast, right? I've had a manager previously of my YouTube, and it's not something that I promote. It's not something that I make a big deal out of. I am not shouting on X and everywhere I go, oh my god, guys, I have a manager now, and it's this guy, right? That's just not how that works. So I was not really thinking it was a big deal, just letting people know who to go to when they want to talk to me. But they were really pushing this narrative. He is my manager, right? And so I can imagine that Becky was looking at that, one of her Brick supporters at one time going to manage her new talent. That's weird, right? That's weird, and I get that. Of course, I didn't like at the time that she called him a groomer. Now, looking back at everything and the extent that he would go through, I'm not going to use that word, but I can imagine it could look like that from an outside perspective, specifically Becky's, all right?
Yeah, so again, bro, if you got like 8 or 9 fucking alts and you're trying to do some shit, you're trying to like, comb their thinking. You're trying to like make them feel a certain type of way about you because you have these 9 other people gassing him up. Well, it was one main one. I'm just saying that, right? Because people say he has like 9 alts or some shit. But yeah, man, I get it, but it's also a bad term to use. Twisted, so many new terms that come out, crashing out and other shit they use now. Sometimes I have to look the shit up. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I just call it like it is. I use grown folk talk when I talk about things. That's just me because I'm a grown-ass man. I ain't gonna talk fucking like some damn teenagers do. That's just not what I do. Kiki Dawn, I have to look most of them up before I use them. My kids get the crap in my language too, though. A lot of people are starting to adapt Caint, and I love it. Because Caint is just fucking beautiful. That's all I'm saying. Twisted, I've actually said that, dude, I'm not crashing out. I'm pissed the fuck off, which made me sound stupid. That's fucking... Boom Slayer, your membership ran out. What the fuck, bro? I can't. Get green, motherfucker. You gray doesn't look right. Kind of like dudes in the 60s wearing ball caps backwards. Exactly. Who can remember all those passwords? Come on, Kiki. That's funny. That's why everything has a password manager now. Fuck, bro.
This really upset gamers, and it triggered the first alleged doxing, as he says people were calling his work to talk to the pedo. So when she mentioned that there was a grooming situation happening, hey Pete, when she mentioned there was a grooming thing happening on her live stream, Daquan, thanks so much for giving a
Shout out Twisted, bro.
I got a wiener.
Jesus.
When she has his first alleged doxing since I've known him, right? And this happened. And he was telling me he was being doxxed. People were calling his work and trying to talk to the pedo, right? So he was having a really hard time being doxxed and having his work doxxed and everything. The interesting aspect of this is later on when my mom looks him up, there's no workplace to be found, right? So it's pretty impressive that some random trolls or Becky supporters found his work and able to call him because, I don't think any of us are able to find that information now. But somehow they did at the time, so. Let's see.
All right, so I'm not even an hour into this. And this is a 4-hour thing, so I'm just going to go through her docket. That's to kind of go through shit and kind of explain it. This is taking a lot longer because I'm pausing, talking to y'all motherfuckers. So she's on page 19, so let's go to page 19. All right. So this is Becky and him talking. I don't give a fuck about ego like being called a boss. I care that I trust my workers, can rely on them to not change teams on a dime. Have fun together. You're both opportunists. She's talking about Roxy and Savage at this point. Never given her the opportunity, and you would have never found her. Oh, never mind. She's talking about Gamers and Ivixey. That's my bad. I didn't want her to succeed. I hope she does. That is the biggest load of crap I have seen on X in a long time. Change teams on a dime, just like appearing on Cafe. Opportunist. You fired her. I believe you wanted her to succeed on your channel. I believe she is a better talent than you, and I think you know she is. So that's the funny part too, bro. He even said that she's going to be bigger than Keemstar. He told her this shit to gas her up. So that's something else to think about, bro. Like he's trying to gas his bitch up. Ski BD. Exactly, Bullzeeb. Riz, Gat, and Skibidi. What the fuck is Skibidi? I still don't understand that shit. That's beside the point. So yeah, Gamers is basically calling Becky out for also being an opportunist because of what happened on a cafe that day. But yeah, he's hardcore taking up for her right now. If you want to address this, you can come on a stream and we can talk about it. Don't waste your time on Twitter right now. If I was to go on stream, I would go on Ivixey's channel, where there would be a proper interview with intelligent questions. So here, he's trying to get Becky on her stream, on Ivixey's stream with this one. You think Keemstar communicates better? Yes, I totally could have improved communication, but it was also extremely busy, and she's an independent contractor. She's supposed to be able to do her job with minimal supervision. She keeps going back to that fucking term right here, Becky does, when she talks about people, which I guess, illegal jargon, blah, blah. T-Berry with the one gifted. Thank you so much. Bull Z, but please thank T-Berry for that gifted membership. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, T-Berry. Act like you are about to take responsibility for yourself, then blame someone else. This is becoming an MO. Becky, how about she gets monetized on her channel with you? how was she getting monetized on her channel with you? She wasn't, and I believe you wanted it that way. You refused to let her mention her Twitch channel, which she could have benefited the most. Why? No way for you to cut into her Ko-Fi or merch shop. Yeah, so something Becky always said was she wanted to like promote all the other personal channels for everybody, and then those would be this eventual 10% for like getting promoted in the BBU. Obviously, that never happened. And then here we go. She made 803 weeks. How much did you make off her to sit in the chat? That would be around $320, right? The difference between you and I is you want to be called a boss, whereas I call her boss. Aha. Aha. Interesting. I don't want control. I want her to succeed. You could never say that. So here we go, right? Ivixey's going to see this. So what is that going to say too, right? What kind of boss are you that you're paying her $7,000 to help her at all this other shit and fucking donating massive amounts of money to her and all that? How the fuck are you going to call her a boss, bro? It's supposed to be the other way around, but that's beside the point. Becky's definition of grooming seems to be supporting anyone other than her. I never supported Becky. I supported Rocky and Savage and later Ivixey. I guess the grooming is that Ivixey approached me about modding her chat after Becky fired her. We came to a mutual agreement to work together on her YouTube channel. Poor Becky, she went and talked too much and used words she really shouldn't have. Now she is getting to talk to my attorneys, which, you know, that's just fucking bullshit right there, bro. Yeah, so that goes back to one of the things I used to say, right? Like, a lot of people wouldn't donate to a channel to support someone because they didn't want someone they didn't like to also get the money. Queens ran into a lot of that because people didn't want to support Becky, but they wanted to support Tina. Versely, people wanted to support Becky. People want to support Becky, not Tina. Also support Tina, not Becky. So that's that weird dynamic that people have to like figure out with co-hosts, if there's like this love-hate dynamic between them. I think Becky has apologized to Ivixey recently. All water under the bridge now. I mean, could be, bro, but we're going at the time that this is all happening, right? We're creating a narrative when all this shit happened. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, this is just fucking whatever. We talked a lot on Discord and became close friends. He had invested his money and time into my content and was there every Twitch stream as well. On Twitch, an account with the name Army CBRN started watching on a regular basis. This was supposedly his son, and they would often banter in chat. So the Marine lost a bet and told me he paid it off. I'm a little suspicious because I know how backwards he can be. Did he do it? So that's fucking. I guess he's just talking shit about his dad. Havoc is fucking Gamers Asylum. So yeah, that's just Twitch chats. I mean, whatever. Gifted 5 or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Dad was wanting to work on carbon fiber guitar. I think he should just make discipline, whatever that means. So yeah, this is just them more bantering and them kind of going back and forth. T-Berry, welcome to the Caint Alliance. I appreciate you, bro. Detective Coaches, Ken, let me know when you want me to be a co-host. I've actually had quite a few people ask me to be a co-host for me, and I'm good, bro. I'm good doing the solo thing, but I definitely appreciate you. But again, T-Berry, welcome to the Caint Alliance. I appreciate you, bro. Or ma'am. I'm sorry, I don't know. Going on. Ezekiel, I think the injuries are why they are reworking the COC and then dropping the ACFT for the AFT. Yeah, they fucking talking about the PT test and shit. At the same time, on the YouTube side of things, he would be very helpful with making dockets, aka a document, blah blah blah. I don't get hung up on the titles. Anything I do is because I enjoy the content. There's no need to take a bow for that. So this is him saying basically like, it's not about, you know, what I am, what you are. I was joking. Sorry, that went bad. Nah, you're good, bro. Don't even worry about it. I appreciate the offer for real though, bro. I don't get hung up with blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so he's just basically saying, you know, I'm here for you. I don't care what the title is. I just want to help you out because I love the content. Whatever, bro. I play a non-essential role. That's bullshit because you make it sound like without you, she would fucking fail. So let's calm the fuck down with that shit, bro. That's more wordplay. A monkey with the keyboard could do my job. I could easily be replaced and no one would notice. Ivixey will do just fine with or without me. Ken just got used to being solo now. He just brings people up. Yeah, dude, it's not a knock towards anybody, bro. I like doing the solo thing. Ivixey's content can stand on its own. She will be fine as long as she remains constant. Again, this has nothing to do with my support. So, bro, I'm going to call bullshit on this because the money you give her, the gifted memberships you give her, what you're paying for, the product bullshit you talk about and all that, bro, you're trying to put it to where, like, she thinks she needs you to succeed because of all this money, because she has in this massive influx of money and shit. But then you're also saying that I can leave and she'll be fine. So it's like, my money means nothing. My time means nothing. My talent company means nothing. You know what I mean? That's kind of what you're saying right now. And that's just kind of not it. That's all I'm saying. Nope. I just help her write her dockets and monitor chat. I understand the local chubby ladies have new equipment, and that caused a brief problem at the start. So that's when she went up on chubbies and shit. So I guess there was no ill will. He would often mention having a simple role in the content where his alts would require he had more credit, hint at me being ungrateful, saying that without him my content would fail. So Cassandra's saying, Ivixey is deleting chats that support you. Does she really think she built that show on her own? It is her channel. She can do whatever she wants. So, again, this is the Dr. Jekyll. I'm sorry, this is the Mr. Hyde. This is the Dr. Jekyll. Straight up, bro. Bullzeeb, Ken was Cafe. Ken never needed a co-host. I mean, here's the thing, bro, and this is the honest to God truth. I could do a solo show. I know I could do what I need to do with the content or whatever. I got, 27 people here, maybe 30 people. I know I can do content by myself. I just had to dial it back so the co-host had a chance to talk, right? And that's not a knock towards anybody. That's just how I am and, like, my personality and shit. I can talk. It doesn't really bother me. But, again, that's just me. But, yeah, so he's basically doing the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing where they're just talking shit here and he's answering, right? So this is the same person. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Cassandra first joined Discord in the middle of a tough time on the server. The gaming community was uncomfortable with the drama subjects that were being discussed on the server, and she helped fuel this fire by posting a message, screenshotting it, then deleting it, and accusing me of deleting comments that didn't suit me. Oh my god, what the fuck? As I've explaining her audience, cozy versus drama, yeah. So basically, she did the cozy games, and then she also wanted to bring in the drama commentary, right? So, and oh my god, I can't believe Becky just trashed her entire room with garbage and blamed it on Caint. The first one I feel shouldn't be freaked out about, while the second one I agree belongs in a separate channel. Just my opinion, I guess, but what is everyone's thoughts on this? So that's basically just saying, you know, should we keep the cozy games and the drama together, or should we separate them? So this is her fucking response. I've looked at her for a while, and I've noticed a hostility towards the audience Ivixey is actually growing from. Her numbers go up, and all I see are names from the LCU, BBU, Savage, or Roxy. Yeah, so all these fans from, you know, LCU, BBU, Savage, and Roxy, we're going to Ivixey now. And this drama community, right? Drama communities are a lot different than, I guess, cozy gaming communities, just because of what this style of entertainment is and what you're looking for out of the content, right? One of the Twitch members in here told a little secret, bragging like they did something. Notice a mod missing. That is right. It was bragged about by a Twitch member. They didn't want Gamers as a mod because he has ties in the drama community, and might not side with them if something is brought to him. So here we go. Already trying to start the fire and stir the fucking pot. She may have said he was the manager on Twitch, but he was never mentioned on YouTube, just to keep him looking like a supporter. I have seen him in the drama servers and game servers and general servers promoting Ivixey. He has dropped hundos just to have her name said. He took heavy blows in his community and then left him looking like a simp. Bro, there's some personal attachment here. If this was a real person and not him, this is just weird, because this is just some random dude you met at a fucking homecoming, noticed the sweater, took a picture with him, singing his praises, saying all this other shit, you know, building up Ivixey and all this other things, you know, talking about Becky, trying to defend both of them. Now you're trying to drag them apart, bro. Though, if this was a real person, there's some like weird personal interest type shit going on, bro. It's fucking crazy. A community that showed up 300 strong was put by the wayside for one of 30. It is really starting to feel like Vixie saw the money-making ability in the YouTube drama community and pulled in one of their most recognizable influencers. So now fucking Gamers Asylum is one of their most recognized influencers. Okay, bro. Until she could get ahead, but her Twitch community bit her tail and bragged about it. One of the first things you see when you come into this server, we all fly the same flag here. Moreover, we are committed to an environment of mutual respect, dignity, and fair treatment. That's what drama communities say, but a lot of times that's not how it is. It should continue with, unless you are from the LCU or BBU, I know this will get deleted as toxic while it is fair criticism. There's nothing more than the LCU and BBU servers where there are an elite that make the rules for the rest. I can't. T-Berry, drama community will eat you up and spit you out. That's facts. It's definitely crazy. And then Pirate said something. I already said what my opinion is on it. Honestly, don't think this and other action should take the test interview is going to go well for. People will start donating about what happened here in Hershaft and Gamers. I don't think that really ever happened. And then Minty, I told one too many facts. Her Twitch members are the elite that get to dictate rules to her other members to make sure they are second-class members. Same flag and all equals. So whoever this is just trying to stir the pot and start fucking drama. That's all this shit is, bro. And if no one else can see that shit, I wish Ivixey saw it back then. But, you know. That's the one adage to have, or the one benefit to having a co-host. You can take a break, right? And take a sip. But besides the point. Bull Zeep, tweeting about someone is wild work. Engagement with the show is enough. People got to get a life. Facts. Facts. Mincy, one thing I'll say is I see her support, blah, blah. The drama communities are used to paying well for content. During her last stream, Havoc, who is Gamers Asylum, gave $150. The Truth and Lillian gave money. And then one of the Truth Streamer supporters dropped $100. So we're comparing money here, right? Drama community Gamers Asylum, Simp, dropped $150, and Twitch only dropped $100. So here we're saying that more money is going to come from the drama side than the Twitch side, right? Army CBN, this is the Sun. What do you mean, Shafton Gamers Asylum? What do you mean, Shafton Gamers Asylum? He has done nothing but support Ivixey and work crazy promoting her. So either father and son are in an argument and fucking son doesn't know about it, or son is involved in it, just trying to like fucking build this shit up and go crazy. It's fucking... This is just too much, bro. He was a moderator here. One of her Twitch members doesn't want him as one because they were afraid he might not side with them in a conflict, and Vixie took Gamer's position away because of it. Her little Twitch member went bragging about it on social media. Take a look yourself. His name was Gold now. It is the same as yours. Wasn't the gold the coffee tentacle thing? The gold was for the moderators. I modded Gamers for a short time on Discord for people to recognize him as someone who was helping the content, but as soon as I realized it could cause more discomfort in the community, I took this back. Army CBN joined the Discord as well around this time and participated in conversations, making connections with community members as well as DMing me. He would often message me gassing up his dad and adding information to situations his dad went through, allowing gamers to remain humble. Tell the neighbor's story. He would also be the one to reach out when gamers ended up in the hospital, which was several times in the last 2 months, as well as when they were in a disagreement between me and gamers. He would leave the messages shaming me for making his dad feel bad. So, son is involved, trying to defend his dad with his e-girlfriend. What are we doing? The love bombing was constant. At first, he would call me special and talented. Then we got closer. He dropped the L-bomb within the first week of talking in private. So according to her, he dropped it. He dropped the L-bomb within the first week of talking in private. He said, she said it. but she would only really know if they had met in person. He was then planning to go meet her. If someone told you, let's just take the story out of the equation. Hey, I think I'm falling in love with you, but I need to meet you in person to know if it's true or not. And they live in another country across the pond. And you take the time to say, okay, let me come meet you. What is that going to tell that person? That's going to tell them that you want to give this a shot. You think that there could be something here. But according to her, he's the one that dropped it. And she said, I have to meet you first. So that part is on both sides. The difference is who actually said it first. I can't, bro. No, not like love you, love family and friends, and love were his words. I think she said, he stated, I think I'm falling in love with you. Those were the words she used. I did not reciprocate, but I did value his friendship. After, he would keep guilt-tripping me into not feeling the same way, often using this as a reason as to him having more on the line than me, or to say he put more effort into the relationship. So now we're getting manipulative. Now he's starting to manipulate the situation, make her feel bad, to try to force her into the L word. Kiki Dawn, that's weird to be honest. Facts, it is, bro. The poop guy, if he's impersonating his own son, that would be the crazy part of it all. So the son does exist, the daughter does exist, but, people are saying that his son really did exist, and I think Ivixey said that she talked to the son at some point, so that's known that the son does exist, but that's what I'm saying, bro. He purchased Microsoft Teams as well as Adobe Creative Cloud to help us work on the content. Since he had a business, I asked if he had Adobe products, but I never asked for a copy. I always said there were likely free options that I could get used to. Due to constant server wipes, I would often have to rely on him to log back into those softwares. He would mention promotional budgets and surveys, but I never got to see any analytics. He would claim that the success of some of the tweets early on was due to him promoting them. So right here, I would often rely on him to go back into both of those log back into both of those softwares. He's holding control over her with passwords and access to the software that he is paying for that she has to use to do the show. So again, this is another power dynamic he's showing here. And that's fucked up. Like, look, bro, you said you're falling in love with her. She said you're not, but she vows the friendship. So he's holding this power dynamic over her to try to force her to see him as some type of savior or as some type of fucking dude that really has feelings for her. And hopefully she starts feeling that way for you too, bro. Like, come on, man. So this is when she started the Horror Cow series. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going through the journey of Becky Boot from her first appearance to her role as a host on Queens to the creation of her own network. A story of love, mental illness, scripted content, manipulation, and deceit. Who is Becky? So the big thing about this was, since Gamers Asylum was around for a while, he knew a lot about the story of Becky and could kind of help her form all these dockets and all this shit. So that's kind of where he showed his value. T-Berry, my takeaway is Gamers is a creepy gooner who likes trolling either way. Yikes. You said it, I didn't. Well, I did say it, but I'm reading your comment. Episode 2 is today. So, yeah, just going through all this shit right here, right? Extra episode in 15 minutes. So, this is when she started that, and he's in the background doing a lot of it. One of the information shared with me early on was his age. So here goes the age thing. He told me he was 40 years old. He also shared 2 photos. The photos looked a bit off for modern standards, but it wasn't impossible. But the person in the photo could be 40. Later, he shared another photo. This one was with his family. I could not recognize any of the people in the photo. When I asked for a selfie, that's when it was clear that a lot of the time had passed between the previous photos. So he was catfishing with older photos of himself, trying to make him sound like he was 40 years old. And I showed how the fuck he looked, bro. I'm 39 years old. There's no fucking way in hell he's 40 years old, bro. No fucking way in hell at all. I don't believe that shit for a fucking second. When I asked him about it, he was oblivious to it, saying he just sent a random photo he found. Sure, bro. All right, so this is another big story. Bolzeeb, turns out $7 doesn't buy a woman's love. Who would have thunk it? Doesn't buy warmth either. Well, depending on where you go, but that's beside the point. So this is where the whole thing about Ivixey looking into him, right? That's where all this shit starts. His son ordered some merch from my Ko-fi store. This gave me access to his full name and address. I did nothing with this information, but on using it to send him the merch. However, when my mom wanted to know more about him and look him up, I gave her this information to help her with her search. The info never left my house. It was used to help her find out more about this guy that I was talking about meeting up. Not a background check. We were not looking up criminal records or going through his infinite butt plug purchase history. I can't. It was a mother looking up information about someone who was saying they loved her daughter. So, how you want to perceive that is up to the person. I think the mother was just trying to protect her daughter and trying to make sure that if this dude's coming to meet my daughter and saying that he loves her, I need to know more about this motherfucker than being some random dude on the internet giving her all this fucking money. Because there's creeps out there, right? I mean, you see like the 90-day fiancés and all that other shit and like life after lockup and all that. Motherfuckers are not who they seem. Because, you know, for just short bursts of time, it's easy to be somebody. But to really know someone like through and through, you kind of want to know what they're about. You know, you want to just search and see who they are and what kind of shit they're involved in, their social media activity and all that other shit. It's common to want to know that shit, especially for your child, right? It is what it is. So Cassandra comes out and says, new developing story from former BBU streamers on Ivixey using Ko-fi memberships in the store to gather information and run background checks on customers and viewers. So they're attacking Ko-fi, right, or Ko-fi or whatever. This is a violation of your terms of service, correct? So she's trying to fuck up Ivixey's Ko-fi sponsorship. So the question is raised. If Cassandra really doesn't know fucking Gamer, how the fuck does Cassandra know this? Because I'm pretty sure this wasn't public. I'm just saying. Stuff did come up in this search that was concerning. A lot of the information I had been given previously by him did not add up with the information from this search. This was including his age. Confronting him on this triggered an identity crisis where he did not know what age he was. Since he was adopted, his birth papers showed a date of birth that was hard to read. I was honest with him. I told him some trust was lost. I gave him a choice. We could distance ourselves and he didn't need to prove anything, but he wanted me to put any energy into a friendship. This trust needed to be earned back. So according to him, he could not read his birth date, so he thought he was the wrong age all along. Okay. Y'all just digest that. 1 second. It's getting cold in here. Let me turn my fan off. He couldn't read his own birth date because the birth certificate was hard to read. So he did not know how old he really was. This is all I got to say. If that ain't a boomer fucking moment, I don't know what is. He is a fucking idiot. I can't. This did spark some activity with his alts. They hinted at something being different. So here we go. There has been so much about them parting ways and not very much about them working together the way they said they are. It makes it look like Ivixey is chasing the clout. Again, what clout does he have? They really need to put more info out. If they lying, they can delete that channel. It doesn't sound like him talking, but just saying. And this is why Gamers is the perfect content manager. Gamers get it. Becky Boop Show fans will hate you and your fans will hate her. The one that wins is the one still talking with the least L's. Right now, you have the W's. You took her biggest supporter that had his own following. Again, what following? And made him your manager. He offered numerous times. The hate is just her goons. The rest of that is cut off. We have another one. You need to learn to give your fans the tools they need to fight against the hate you get instead of giving them to your haters. Then you don't have to deal with it. What does that mean? You need to learn to give your fans the tools they need to fight against the hate you get instead of giving them to your haters. With 35 views. Okay, bud. Gamer the Damned, what up, bro? Cassandra, as a fan, I feel something was off all weekend with Ivixey and Gamers. I believe they are trying to pull something on the fans, and maybe Vixie is using TGA. When TGA isn't in Roxy's chat, Roxy has horrible things to say about Ivixey but she is always praising TGA. So yeah, Roxy and Ivixey had a little bit of a spout at some point. Things took a new turn when I noticed Roxy was changing her attitude towards me. When I tuned into her streams, I'd hear her talk shit about me, hinting at me using Gamers. I'm a fan of Ivixey and Gamers Asylum, but something is very wrong. This is floating around. Roxy saying she isn't fond of Vixie, then goes into being protective. Then later we find out Vixie is saying she fired Gamers in her VC. This is just... I don't know anymore. I truly have no idea anymore, bro. This got worse and worse, so I reached out to Roxy directly and suggested we do a call because there were clearly a misunderstanding somewhere. She declined and left me very aggressive voice messages, which Roxy is known for doing the aggressive voice messages. That's just something Roxy does. I couldn't understand why her opinion of me had changed so much. Our common denominator was Gamers. They were very close, and somehow she developed this opinion based on the things he would tell her. I lost trust in his ability to represent me because of this, so I expressed to him that the manager title needed to change. He could be involved in the content, just not handle the communication with other creators on my behalf. He struggled with this, but eventually I made the announcement public. So he's starting to see the control go away. He's starting to see the little bit of whatever he has over her, she's willing to let go right now. That's what he sees. Little control. I can't. This is when the harassment kicked into high gear. So she made the announcement, harassment went up. I believe this is going to end up on her YouTube channel. Please, people came because they were gifted members by you and you are accessible there. I drop all support if I find out she wanted this after Becky called you a groomer because of her and all the support you gave her. He went very far to try to make me regret my decision. All of a sudden, content creators were lining up to work with him. So yeah, this is some random motherfucker in St. Louis that no one's ever heard of saying that she wants to work with him. I got your portfolio and I will reach out soon. Thank you. Angel Crest. Is this real? Is this real? Twisted. This whole gamer shit has been better than any script that has ever been tried. So many layers and shit try and have make sense. Keem, I need to go to bed. Facts. All right. What's Cassandra saying? I knew it. I knew she was using Gamers Asylum for the money and direction until she thought she could do it on her own. If Keemstar ever lets this cartoon pop her head in the LCU, I will stop supporting them. Roxy has said Ivixey is a user all along. No platform should allow. And this is when she said no more manager. No platform should allow her to find another victim. Becky Boop and Thick Gemini are going to eat for a long time off this tea. I'm going to say that this was Ivixey's idea because I have never known gamers to ever give up on anything. She even said he was doing all the work. From what I see, TGA was her only real supporter. The channel is going to fail once those gifted memberships TGA bought run out. I hope this reputation starts to carry over to your Twitch channel. You get the vitriol you deserve for such a vile person. People who donate to Ivixey, Ko-Fi should also be wary since they gave her their address. If TGA was doxxed and Vixie is okay with this behavior, then people should avoid such memberships or online stores. It has been reported that Ivixey Discord is not secure or safe. Yeah, bro. Like, how is she having all this information, bro? How in the fuck is this fucking even a thing? It's alleged that posts are being taken down from her server to others with known doxers. It is reported that screenshots were taken to Ivixey where she states she is not responsible for the safety of the Keemstar and Real Rastov. You should be aware that Ivixey is running her server before inviting her on your shows. And running her server? That doesn't make sense. Before inviting her on your shows and accidentally directed them into what could be a trap. Announced that they are parting ways with Ivixey. Oh, so this doesn't make sense. I can't with Twitter, bro. Roxy did say she forgave panel gamers while on panel on the big stream with Keem. Well, there you go, bro. When the announcement was made, gamers allegedly got doxxed again. I woke up the next day with the news, as well as him accusing my community members of messaging him privately, harassing him to leave the server. I asked for screenshots, but there never were any to give, and this is a running theme. He never gave her fucking screenshots of anything alleging what people were saying, like ever at all. Savage Wolf says, you do realize that you just made seem like Ivixey server is full of crazies, right? You're alluding that it was members from her server who sent them, and you know what people are going to take away. They're not going to pay attention to the nice things. Gamers, I'm not in the server. I was asked to write something about what happened for it to be clipped and sent there. This is what I did. That is what I did. There's no alluding to anything. It is a statement of what happened. I never once said that the threats came from members of the server. I was very clear that they were burner accounts. I was also very clear that the two messages I received were from members of the server. They were not grouped together. The alleged docs gave me a lot of problems, as he mentions it as he leaves the server. I've spent the morning reading all my fan mail. All his fan mail. So he's getting fan mail. Beautiful. I appreciate being reminded of my business and home addresses and phone numbers. So that's the doxing. You never know. I might forget one of them. It is clear that even though only Ivixey and I know what went on, that I have worn out my welcome here. That said, to the people that I become friends with, I bid you adieu. Several people were concerned about the server safety, including, of course, Cassandra. So this is them talking shit about the safety of the Discord, blah, blah. I have a live stream on YouTube shortly after, and several accounts mentioned a police report connecting the docs to me. One of the accounts had changed their name to Army CBRN before typing in chat. So remember, that is the son. That's the son's name, right? Then proceeded to comment on the video later with the same accusations, this time as Cringe Alert TV. So this is the same account that changed their name to the son and then changed it to Cringe Alert TV. Deleting comments is a bad look. The same comments can go elsewhere, just more avoiding what you did, calling that out, and then boom. When I sat through one of your more boring Twitch streams, I found out Havoc is TGA and Arbin CBRN is his son. I wanted to see if you acted the way you are with his son, who have been a financial backer. I just couldn't get the @ because someone else had already taken it. Beautiful. So that's just more of them talking shit. What's this? Cassandra thing uses this to twist the narrative on X. So Army CBR and Cassandra kind of go back and forth. This is just whatever. So here we go. She also has a lot of screenshots of the chat and purged messages and claims I do not let everyone talk and delete comments. So this is her basically clipping all this shit, saying that it was deleted or whatever. Obviously, it never happened, or Ivixey never really did it, but it is what it is. Little Miss Everything gets to speak their mind. Ivixey is deleting comments and banning members if they question her attitude and behavior. She is no different than Becky Boop. She wants receipts, but she deletes them. Send any of her actions real time to keep a record. So she's trying to get people to screenshot their messages and then screenshot them getting deleted in the YouTube chats. So again, trying to stir the pot. She also has someone screenshot from their perspective of the banned user chat in the AGG gameplay teaser. So yeah, it's just more bullshit. She then continues X claiming to know what's in this police report. So this is where one of the weirdest things hits, right? Because how was Cassandra going to know what's in the police report if she really doesn't know who Gamers Asylum is? And again, Cassandra's also supposedly know a lot of information that was between the Gamers Asylum and Ivixey, their private conversations. Again, how is Cassandra going to know this? There was a maid, guys. A maid leaked all this shit to Cassandra. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. All right. You are wrong, Ivixey. We can tell where it came from. The report was released in a Discord server. Unlike yours, they aren't allowed to take it to other servers to post. The message threatened gamers has the same ISP as a member of your server. It did come from some place that could be identified, and you swept and denied accountability before the report was released. You even blamed gamers before getting doxxed. People like Zayzudin and Rastov need to be aware of who you really are before letting you on. So she's trying to tag these LCU hosts at the time that were trying to get her on to do interviews and shit, and trying to get their attention to basically a police report about a dox, and that basically it came from Ivixey's server. The doxing happened. So she also claimed gamers joined the stream at one point is what saved my views and made it a lot better. So that's been a running thing, bro. That's been a running fucking thing. Which, I mean, we really don't need to read this because, I mean, it's same old shit. At this point, a lot of his alt starting expressing opinions on my content, specifically pointing out the content is lacking the Gamers Asylum. So, Ivixey will do fun on her own. She's amazing talent. She's new to the locale scene as far as channels go. She will be off and running in huge numbers in no time. So then this is just that same bitch that wanted to collab with him or whatever, talking shit or whatever. It's fucking dumb. And if you're in the Asylum server, do not post things from outside of it elsewhere. This is against the rules. Sorry, I found it posted elsewhere. I'm a long-time lurker on Vix. I'm a long-time lurker on Vix on Twitch and thought you and her working together on YouTube was amazing. So that's someone else that they're not revealing who that is. Bullseye, because it seems like Cassandra BS started once gamers realized he's in the friend zone. That was probably the most realest fucking statement that's been said all day and all night. Literally, when he got friend zoned, Cassandra flipped it. Fucking dumb, bro. So this is more of the horror cal shit. And then someone here, I love seeing you and gamers still working together sometimes. I wish it was back the way it was when it started. You were both so high on each other. The channel worked because both of you were working together. Now it feels rushed and dry. The last Becky and Lisi weren't good. So this is another one of his alts trying to gas her up, telling her to go back to the gamers, bro. Am I the only one who remembers this? This was the prime of Ivixey. She was confident and proud. She had gamers supporting her with everything. I have seen that he still does, but it feels hollow since they said they were no longer a team. I want them back. So yeah, bro, this is just people gassing her up, trying to go back to him, bro. Just the manipulation, bro. Like, I can't. We are closing this series on Lisi today, discussing the last script pulled on the LCU audience with Scooter. But what is this? Another message from the Stranger. Yes, this is the whole Stranger arc. And I know Twist is in chat. He can talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, the whole premise of the Stranger was to basically try to clown Becky for all the wrong that she had ever did. And there was different voices and shit. And Gamers Asylum, his trademark was attached to it when he was never really involved, or his voice was never used to be a stranger. So it's just fucking dumb. The whole thing was stupid if you ask me, but that's just my own personal opinion. They didn't even work together, and you can tell in the content's going downhill. So whoever this is saying that the content is going downhill, ever since Gamers and fucking Ivixey stopped working together. At this point, unrelated to TGA, there's a YouTube channel that emerges with heavily filtered videos from my old channel where I used to face cam. They felt threatening, and I was scared someone was going to reveal my face without me having any control over it. So yeah, this is the whole thing, bro. As someone who watched her, I had no clue Gamer was even a part of her channel. Well, there you go. Silver Knight, what up, bro? Appreciate you being here. TGA sprung into action where when we understood where it was coming from, we started a group conversation with Thick Gemini and CC. I found out later on that he claims to have spent $2K to keep these videos from coming out. Thick Gemini and CC denied this was ever the case. Watch the CC video. At this point, there's a mention of the subreddit called Project Pixel Tits. TGA justifies looking into this, saying he was paying Lord Rush to look into it because he thinks there might be information about his docs in there, as well as help me stop the face reveal. CC tried to join the subreddit, and obviously it did not work out. So this is basically from the subreddit trying to join, and then this is them talking. I like to join, not that easy. Foxo, do I look like a cartoon now? Seriously, this isn't a fan club, and you have to bring something to the table. We have access of a lot of information and footage, so you understand why we can't just let anyone in. We have a passcode or a buy-in. What is Blank's last name? So that's her real name. That's Ivixey's real name. And they ask what her last name is, or show us some proof you have something like unedited footage. There is supposedly a report at some point where he never shared with me, but includes several names in it. So remember, he said in the tweet at the very beginning of her video that there's a lot of information that she doesn't know that's out there about her. Again, I want to argue that if you're supposed to be this manager, this protector type role, you would tell her what's happening so that she's aware, so she could try to safeguard herself as good as possible. But no, he didn't allow her to do that because it just didn't happen. Names include Savage, Becky, CC, and community members of mine. Later, Nemesis's name gets included in this report too, supposedly because before it wasn't the final report yet. Convenient, because that was the preliminary report he was talking about. Convenient, since he wanted to blame Nemesis for the leak of my old channel. And then that's when, if you looked at yesterday, he was attacking Nemesis for the whole bullshit and how all that shit happened. That's kind of where him and Nemesis really came to blows about it. Kiki Dawn, that's number one rule of that community, never reveal the face. Exactly. That's why I don't even worry about that shit, bro. Y'all know who I am. I am me. This isn't some fucking avatar like I can't, bro. You know who I am. For context, Nemesis had become close friends to the Gamers Asylum. We now know TGA often confided in him regarding his relationship with me, would share conversations, messages, and even my picture at one point. So, Gamers Asylum actually leaked the picture to Nemesis. Private conversations and just other, I guess, public conversations or whatever. It's fucked up, bro. At this point, I confronted TGA about what looks like a major security breach. Cassandra often knows details from private conversations between me and him, as well as details regarding content plans. So how the fuck is she going to know content plans when it's only Gamers Asylum and Ivixey in that fucking team shit, right? There's no way in hell Cassandra's going to know about this shit unless, if she's a real person, Gamers Asylum is actually telling her this shit, right? There's no fucking way of her knowing regardless. She reached out to Thick Gemini to warn him about our plans to watch the specific Becky Boop episode. You may want to warn Becky Boop that Vixie is planning on using her 5-hour live stream titled Answering All Your Questions like the next 2 weeks. It would be hilarious if that video was made members only right before Vixie stream so that she couldn't prepare and as left holding her dick in hands. Do you know exactly the title? So yeah, this is her messaging Thick Gemini about the plan. And I think that stream ended up going members only, so that way it fucking happened. Who are all these reports going to, bro? No idea. That never, ever really came out. It was also supposed to go to the Gamers Asylum in the end, I think. But so many people knew information. He was telling so many people information. And he was telling different people different parts of the story so they couldn't connect all the dots. It just got super convoluted as shit. done. It's answering all your questions. Make it good. She checks gamers' dockets right before the show. Switch it over right as Ivixey's show starts, so she is left with 2 hours of no content and looking stupid. If she sees this members only prior, she would just skip and go to Fat Camp. Why not have fun and embarrass her while stopping her from making content out of Becky? Well, it's on $500 member tier list. Think you should wait until her stream starts. Ivixey tells too much. They are going to go to Fat Camp videos and feature Becky getting down on her knees to one of Gamer's super chats. Okay. They don't have the docket written for Fat Camp yet, but they do the stream that was changed to members only. Change it to members only right before the show starts. That way she isn't prepared at all. Okay. Come on, Gemini, you're supposed to be the evil one. How is Ivixey playing that stream? I don't know, chill. Why the fuck would you tag me in those videos and then tag TGA and his son? They know me, retard. I agree to help. So that was, yeah. Thankfully, TGA had downloaded the stream beforehand, saving the day once again. Shortly after security breach, Gamers Asylum fires this maid after finding out she was related. So this is the most convoluted, dumb, idiotic, fucked up story to come up with. Like, the maid, bro. This is some fucking Clue shit. The maid did it in the kitchen with the knife. Like, fuck you, bro. Meanwhile, after being distanced from my content, he finds refuge in Roxy's channel. He takes over her channel with big plans to make several shows. The birth of the new YouTube series, Clippers, with Lillian and Paige. So since he can't control Ivixey anymore, he goes to control Roxy's stream. It's been made official. The takeover of Roxy's Unfiltered channel has begun. I have always wanted to help talented people reach their dreams. During a brief, forced hiatus, the asylum was being built. A server of larger creators helping smaller ones, and smaller ones sharing ideas and growing together. A place for views to meet new talents and the creators to meet new views. Who does that sound like? A weird version of the LCU, if you ask me. The full launch began with the announcement that would be managing the Roxy Unfiltered channel, being allowed to make changes where I saw them needed, and able to propose new ideas that led to Roxy having a more stable IRL streaming source, and 2 new shows being created to run her channel from new creators, Rated R Roxy and the Lol Cow Wranglers. Fun fact, there's actually a channel called the Lol Cow Wrangler. More plans for more content with better production and new concepts. More announcements coming soon. I just wish I still had my advisor. Okay. He forced a Discord on a community that never wanted one, because Roxy's always said she never wanted a Discord. She said that at the beginning of the stream where all this shit came out. Introduced ideas that weren't comfortable with and put himself on top of the pyramid. Gamers Caint. One night, Army, his son, reaches out to me on Discord. Mentions my old channel handle. His attitude is aggressive and threatening. He has me do a group conversation with him, TGA, and Nemesis. I have access to the conversation prior to me joining and read through it. In the conversation, he calls me out, calls me nay, says I'm ungrateful, and alludes to me not knowing the extent of what his dad has done for me, including paying off CC $2,000 to stop my face reveal from happening. So you're paying bitches $2,000 and a lolcow hoodie. Give me a fucking break, bro. When I told him TGA is supposedly unable to type because he's puking his guts out. Convenient. So his son continues to speak in an aggressive tone, insisting I tell him what his dad means to me. Otherwise, he won't help me any further. I tell him it's none of his business. Before I leave the group conversation, I ask Nemesis if he's noticed they never type at the same time. Without me there, his son then threatens to leak the information he has. I unfriend both him and the Gamers Asylum. Nemesis then reaches out to me, and he slowly figures out TGA has been lying to him and manipulating him. A big part of this was when, in the group conversation, Gamer shares a screenshot of the James Handle account on X linking my old link. So this is an alt on the X leaking the old link of hers with her face. Conveniently, the post was up long enough for the screenshot, only up long enough for the screenshot to be taken. So he leaked it, and alt got a screenshot, and then it was deleted. Funny how that works out. Cassandra gets a hold of the link as well and starts sharing it with everyone that knows me, as well as everyone she believes can spread it further. I'm in panic mode, contemplating doing a face reveal myself to take back control. Before making any big decisions, I decided to friend TGA back and ask for a call. In this call, I confront him, accusing him of being Cassandra. This is when he plans to meet her in person to prove it isn't him. Now, we saw this all unfold, right? We saw the hoodie. We saw Cassandra from the side, the pronounced chin. None of this makes sense. And then this is supposedly their conversation. So, this just... Meanwhile, Roxy reaches out to me saying she is suspicious about the Gamers Asylum, wants to hear my side. Nemesis and I get in a call with her to tell her mostly everything we know. She is confused, but tells us that she believes us. She leaves the call with plans to talk to the gamers that night and let us know after. We hear nothing from her until the next day she goes live on her channel. So yeah, these are all the messages that he had with himself. Just, please fucking be I can't, bro. This is just dumb. On Roxy's stream, she talks about the conversation. She says she's still confused and wants people with information to come up and talk about it. I feel forced to go defend myself. That night, TGA goes to meet Cassandra, the video. The next day, this is the main subject on Lolcow. After the show, he gets hired to manage Lolcow Nuts. And that is the end of Ivixey's side of the story. Guys, what do you think? What do you think? This shit is so fucked up. It is just way beyond comprehension at this point, bro. Like, it just doesn't make sense. None of this shit makes sense. If you want to watch the full video with her and her explanation, it's a 4-hour video. That's it right there. Yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot. But so ends the tale, supposedly. So I'll probably try and get her on for an interview just because I like to talk to her and ask her questions. Because obviously when you're just trying to tell your side of the story, sometimes you don't think of what other people would say. So I definitely want to get her up here and talk to her and ask her some questions 100%. So, but it is almost midnight. It's 11:43 actually. And it's almost that bedtime. I am a boomer. I need to get my beauty sleep. I'll tell y'all this. There have been talks still of me, Twisted, and Thick Gemini doing a stream together on this channel. So we'll see what happens with that one and what we actually all talk about. Bull Z, probably shouldn't be friends with your fans. Yeah. People need to go far away from TGA. He's too into running ops. I think there's a lot of bad characters on YouTube. And that is why I like staying solo. I'm fortunate enough to where I don't need to, like, cater to whales. You know what I mean? I don't need to, like, beg. And I never feel like I owe anybody anything, right? But I just want to put out content people want to support. And I know this was kind of like not my normal thing, but since Ivixey gave me her docket, I want to go through her video, but it's just too fucking long. I wanted to at least show her side of the story and kind of help plug some stuff in. But I definitely want to get her on to ask her some questions, 100%. So I'm going to redirect y'all to Rewind, because why not? Oh, Aussie is live. Fuck that. I'm sending you to Aussie. Fuck that. You're going to Aussie. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I'll see about going this weekend. I'm definitely going to try to. And, yeah. We'll see you next time. And remember, life is beautiful. You only get one shot at this. Make it the best you possibly can. Take care, everybody.